And we are coming down in 3, 2, 1.
All right.
Welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk. I am not the hostess Cupcake the Riddler.
Hate to see it.
But I am the Rat of a Red Baron. And I am
Yes, the raddest.
And I am joined by...
Don't drop the mic. Only one in studio besides Red of the Red Baron, whatever the hell his name is. And Kyle is missing.
Also joined by
Mock's here.
Is it Sheen washable?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, just today it is.
The Maskers Massey and the Vanishing Souls.
The Vanishing Shingles.
Vanishing
Single soul.
Shingle Shoals.
Shingle Souls.
Shingle Shoals. Shingle Shoals.
But yes, we are here. No Riddler taking some R&R. Took the family down to Disney Town.
Disneyland or World?
They're all the same
Who
to me.
amongst us? Yes.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Land is in Florida, World is in California, isn't it?
The opposite, my friend. The opposite, yes.
As far as I'm
sure?
concerned, they're the same place.
I'll bet you this bell ring that I'm right.
Wow. Well, listen.
All right, hold on, Kendall. Before you go any further, Disneyland is where?
Land is in California. World is in Florida.
All right, you're correct. Kendall,
Right.
Continue on.
Okay. Well, thank you for joining the Dumpster Fire, which is our
Hey,
show.
I'm trying to douse it a little bit.
That we like to bring you every week. But hey, listen. No Riddler, no problem. What are you folks drinking?
I got from Back East Brewery in Bloomfield, Connecticut. I have the Oktoberfest beer because it's early September, but it's Oktoberfest time, baby. So that's what I have. And Mock, what do you got? What are you drinking today, buddy?
I'm gonna be so mad if Kendall brought those mini kegs.
Oh yeah,
No.
slurping them down.
I'm gonna drink it by myself.
Shot luges of kegs, yes. Oh shit.
I have something I found in the fridge during a recent cleanout.
Nice.
Is last year's Christmas Budweiser.
Oh my!
I still have one of those downstairs.
I found 2 of them, and I'm also eating my dinner.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to be joining you on that very shortly.
Well, 'tis the season.
Yeah, softball kind of threw a wrench at me today.
As it does in general. Souls, what are you drinking?
Water.
Tall glass of water. That's all right.
From Talking Rain Beverage Co. in
From-
Can we
Preston,
call you Chris
Washington.
Shingle?
What?
Can we call you Chris Shingle?
You can do whatever you want.
Listen, we're gonna get into that.
10 Shingle.
We are?
Devin Shingletary.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Moving on. Kendall, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking from Fat Orange Cat Baby Kittens.
You're
Which is-
drinking baby kittens.
I am. This was my sister's birthday gift to me.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
So we're gonna see how that is.
You kind of are a human version of an orange cat.
Why, thank you for saying that.
My absolute pleasure.
That's very nice of you to say.
I'm a shock jock, is what they call it.
Wow, a regular Howie Stern, huh?
I said, guys, it was a big weekend for Kendall. Houston and Pittsburgh won. He's a big H-Town guy.
Yep, as everyone knows, but we will get into that. Does anyone have a toast of excellence?
Oh,
Yes, we all do, except for the people that don't.
Yeah, go ahead, Mass, if you got one.
Mine is to the Bucs quarterback Tom Brady starting his record 300th regular season game.
Forget him.
345 if you include the
Why
playoffs.
don't you
4
marry
feet
him
if you
already?
include the years. So that's a Space Jam quote. Sorry. Sorry, go ahead. I interrupted you.
That's all right. 345 if you include his playoff starts. Also, learn the fact that Brady has never started a game mathematically eliminated for the playoffs.
Ever?
Yeah, but with that same logic,
Ever.
neither have I. So
Yeah, I don't like those stats. I hate the stats when they're like Steph Curry has a better chance of hitting or making the Super
think
Bowl.
about
Like
it.
it's stupid.
But think about it. That means the years that the Patriots have missed the playoffs, they were
They
eliminated
haven't.
in the last game of the season.
When have they missed the playoffs with?
I don't know that they have.
No. I don't think they had, but like the year that like the Dolphins won, he wasn't playing, so that doesn't mean
That's
that
what I
because you said
mean.
when he started. So not a Tom Brady team, a Tom Brady started team.
What are we talking about?
fuck Tom Brady
The first
forever.
year that they ever missed the playoffs was 2002. The first year he started all regular season games.
Huh,
So
that is an interesting little nugget, as they would call it.
They,
2002.
Hold on. What was the year didn't they win like 2 or 3 Super Bowls in a fucking row?
They won 2001 and then 03 and 04.
2002.
What is Mark? What are you arguing?
Because I didn't think that they missed the playoffs in 2002.
They only won 9 games for the Patriots, I guess.
This is a confusing argument.
I'm
In
actually
the
kind
final week of this, hold on. In the final week of the season, the Patriots defeated the Dolphins in overtime. A few hours later, the Jets also finished with a 9-7 record. Due to the record against common opponents, the Jets won the tiebreaker for the division title, and both the Patriots and Dolphins were eliminated from playoff contention.
Jets got bounced in the first round.
Yep.
it's
Probably
funny.
by the Colts.
I forgot what we were talking about.
I think so basically what you're saying is Tom Brady has never started a game in which his team could not make the playoffs, essentially.
Correct.
Okay, that's an interesting fact, actually.
Which, for 22 years, is insane. Never being mathematically eliminated from the playoffs.
Yep. Well, neither is Trevor Lawrence. So.
Souls, do you have a toast?
Yeah, my toast was to Chandler Jones.
What did he do, Kyle?
He had 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and got me 25 fantasy points.
He just had to sprinkle that little nugget in there.
Of course he did.
No, Aaron Rodgers got me too.
He couldn't just let him
Aaron
know.
Rodgers.
He had to mention how it benefited him.
It's Kyle, of course.
Mock, you got anything?
Yes, my toast is to Derek Jeter for
thank you.
having finally his Hall of Fame ceremony.
His Wednesday afternoon matinee Hall of Fame ceremony.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, had to get it in.
Baby.
No, it was long overdue. Happy to see him go in.
Baby.
So yeah, toast to him.
All right, I'll drink to that. I'm going to go with the fans at Hard Rock Stadium who caught the cat that fell
All right.
and then held it up like Simba. That cat must have been terrified, but I mean, yeah, it was crazy that the cat was like, I'm just going to die here. I don't want to watch Miami Hurricanes anymore. But yeah,
I think you got to eat that cat.
just kill it.
It's customary down there, I believe.
But the question though is like cats have 9 lives, but you never know what life they're on at that point. That could be their last one, so you got to do everything to save it.
You can't just go off
You're
credit.
like, oh, it's
there.
probably on 4. It's like there's no like punch card for a cat, you know?
All right, we got to take this up with somebody. I have
Imagine
Jesus.
Death just fucking shows up. All right, punch the ticket.
You have 7 left, sir. Kendall, you?
I got a couple. The Blue Jays putting up a 22 spot the
Yeah.
other day.
Was that the same game that the Orioles were like 3 outs away from a no hitter, and then they gave up like 11 runs?
No, I think that was a
Another
different
game?
game. The Blue
Okay.
Jays just went on a tear for basically an entire baseball game.
And then they score like more
I
runs. They like scored more runs than like 7 football teams on Sunday or something.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous. Yeah, so I always enjoy that.
They only did that in the first 6 innings. They didn't score in the final 4.
Right, yeah, they just had an explosive 6 innings. Always fun to see a football score in baseball. And then the final toast, we're coming off a very somber weekend, 20th anniversary of 9/11. And I always like to make note how the teams in New York always do a good job honoring the first responders, even if it's just something subtle, wearing the hats that say FDNY and all that, and all the ceremonies. So, sort of like a toast of excellence, sip of silence type thing. But we're coming off that weekend.
That Piazza homer
They
replay always
fought
gets
the
me.
next day.
What'd you say, Mock?
They almost fought the next day.
I know, but for
Well-
America, baby,
A lot of passion.
a lot of passion between
USA.
Lindor.
USA.
That's right.
Yes.
All right.
Ira wins.
Oh, I already tried
Ira
them.
wins.
I have 2 more toasts, but crack them anyways because they're
Okay.
not really important ones.
All right, go ahead, Mass.
I'm going to steal a Kendall move here, but toasting to the Rams' new modern throwbacks, those things look fucking nice.
The disrespect you show for me by saying that on this show, unbelievable.
What? Stealing your thing?
No, I'm just joking.
Okay. Second to Jameis Winston, who had a fucking day.
That's what he was waiting for.
100 and what? It was 148 yards and 5 touchdowns.
I think it was less.
Yeah,
The most efficient.
It's so funny because Jameis is just out there. Except for the 55-yard bomb, I think Jameis was just kind of like, oh, all right, the ball goes there. Oh, all right, the ball. Oh, we're starting on the 20-yard. Okay.
Yeah, he had a pretty good day.
Watching that game, I'm all of the conspiracy theory that, you know what, we'll get into that. I'll say that when we do our overreactions. Jameis, I watched most of the game. Jameis was literally just
Slinging it. He was slinging the pill around the field.
He wasn't slinging it. He was just kind of
hanging out.
Yeah.
Like,
it was like watching like a high schooler play against, a bunch of 4-year-olds.
Sure.
That was not the example I had in my head.
It's similar. I mean, it didn't look like he was trying. It looked like he was just kind of.
Well, he got LASIK eye surgery.
Not saying that like he kicked their ass and he wasn't even trying. He legitimately just looked like I would look if I was a quarterback out there.
Yeah, I mean,
well,
I don't think you throw 5 touchdowns in an NFL game, but
probably
we'll suspend some disbelief for you, Mass. Don't worry.
Appreciate that.
I can
anybody play volleyball?
I play volleyball.
Yeah, but you haven't seen me play volleyball while I was drunk.
Yes. No, I have not. Only in my dreams.
Did anybody else watch all the games last night, or
I was at the Giants game, so I didn't watch any of the 4:00 games, but I watched the night game and most of the 1:00 games before I went for the game. So
Mass has a bunch of stuff for us to get to. Now, normally, if everyone were in studio, we would do our Sam Spence, review of all the games where Kyle kind of does the thing. But with everyone being kind of on,
hiatus or MIA,
right? It's just too difficult to do. But I think we should recap the games quickly.
I have them right here for you.
Just because. So, Mass, if you want to take the reins on that, we'll just kind of jump in when we can.
Mike, what are you doing?
He's getting undressed. No, he's getting a phone call.
I mean, I'm into that, but game of the week, 1:00. Game 1 was the Philadelphia Eagles and the Atlanta Falcons. Man, Jalen Hurts and the Eagles looked good. Matt Ryan did not.
No, the Falcons look bad.
The Falcons look like they may be one of the 3 worst teams in the league right now.
Here's the thing. The Falcons did look bad, but the Eagles Jalen Hurts looked good.
I mean,
Hurts looked really good. Jalen Hurts came out through 3 touchdown passes. Devonta Smith got his first touchdown. Nick Sirianni actually looked like a competent coach. I mean, the Eagles looked good. I mean, they actually, if this is symbolic of what we're going to see from the Eagles the rest of the year, they have a chance to walk away with the East. I don't think it is either. But I also didn't think I would ever say that it looked this good.
Question. Because all offseason they kept talking, is he the guy? Are they going to draft a quarterback? I think he answered questions.
Yes.
I don't think their defense can stay that strong all year.
Me neither. That's what I mean. I don't, they're not going to be a freaking powerhouse team, but I think Jalen Hurts kind of silenced some people with a definitive win.
Yep. Devonta Smith looked good.
This is what I will say, and I was ready to write the Eagles off this year, even before the first snap of the game. And I still kind of am. But I think they took advantage of a Falcons team that is really a disaster and it needs to be torn up entirely. And they can say they're doing that, but they're not. So, I mean, I will say they look good, but I'm not ready to give that much credit because the Falcons just are not that good of a football team.
Yeah, they lost a bunch of starters on defense this offseason. Losing Keanu Neal.
Starters. They lost Julio Jones, which was the decoy to get the entire offense going, I feel.
I don't think Calvin Ridley's the number one.
No, he's not. He's a top-tier number 2.
Yeah. I don't think he could be a number one.
We can move into the Jets and the Panthers, the other game of the week. Sam Darnold revenge game. Jets came to Carolina. Huh?
He won.
He did. Darnold had a decent showing. Not a great showing, but a decent showing. 24-35 for 279, 1 passing and 1 rushing touchdown. McCaffrey had almost 100 yards on the ground.
He had another 89, 90-day rushing receiving.
Yeah. I mean, if you have him in your league, good job. No touchdowns, though, did he?
I don't.
He threw one to Robbie Anderson, which was expected.
Yeah. Zach Wilson looked
like a rookie.
Raw,
he had
but good.
moments.
He looked raw, but good. I think that there is potential for growth there, and I think they're just going to continue building around him. Mekhi Becton went down early in the game. Thankfully, it was not an ACL. It's the same injury that Patrick Mahomes had. It was a kneecap dislocation. Which
anything to do with that.
That sounds fucking worse.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But the recovery only a month.
Yeah, your knee, it's actually down to your foot now. We'll see if we can get that back.
We lost the cap. It's kind of floating up by your hip right now.
Right, we'll get you a replacement.
So they'll get
pretty good.
Yeah, they'll get Mekhi back in about a month.
In the meantime, he's going to take a lot of hits.
Yeah. I mean, Panthers look like the second best team in the South. If you disregard the Saints and the Bucks. I don't.
Out of it.
Yeah, they're the best if they're the only ones there.
If you regress Patrick Mahomes to the mean, he's pretty average. I really don't know what to make of the Panthers because I don't know what to make of the Jets. Both are pretty much brand new teams. So it'll be interesting.
A game that the Panthers should have won, and they won.
Yeah, I think that's the way you have to look at it.
There was nothing impressive about that game. There was nothing stand out.
Panthers and the Jets should combine their teams.
Yeah. Real quick, what do you call him?
Like Sam Darnold never left.
Right off the cusp. What do you call him, Kyle?
The
flying jackalops.
Come on, they're just the Janthers. You don't even hesitate. They're the Janthers.
The Janthers. All right. Up next, we had the LA Chargers at the Washington football team. Ryan Fitzpatrick exits early with hip injury. They said what it was earlier, but it sounds like he's out for a while.
Looks like 8 weeks.
Yeah.
He might be off for the year.
He might be.
I mean, that's kind of it's devastating across the board because here's the thing: Fitzpatrick could have went out and laid an egg for 6 straight games. I mean, that's always a possibility, but
sure.
there was so much riding on this team because this was kind of like their shot. Hey, Washington could be the one to run away with the division, hypothetically speaking, with the personnel they have in the defense, and with Fitzpatrick going down, all the upside that he comes with, it kind of puts the team in a tough spot. Now, it'll be interesting because that we got to see a little glimmer of Heineke. Is that how you said the last name?
Yes, Taylor Heineke
in the playoff game, who played decent.
He played decent yesterday too.
So I'm all in on seeing Tyler Heineke for Taylor Heineke.
Yeah.
Taylor Heineke.
So it's not to say the season's lost, but it's definitely it puts him in a more vulnerable spot where they were kind of sitting pretty before.
So my take is I don't think Fitzpatrick was ever going to start the entire season.
No, there's no way.
I think that he was going to ride it out until he kind of fell apart and Heineke was going to take over.
Yeah.
Did they think Heineke was going to take over in week 1? No. I
Give the kid a little bit more time to learn, but
it is what it is. The kid showed that he can play. I mean, he came in and almost beat the Bucks in the playoffs last year.
I'm so excited. I hope he turns into a Kurt Warner story.
I don't want that at all.
Well, that's true. You're in his division. Sorry.
But I think the kid can play and has weapons on offense. Like he's a young quarterback coming into a great situation.
Yep.
He has a top shelf defense. He has a true number one receiver. He has a good run. Like he has the tools around him.
Yeah, I mean, this would be a conversation for another day, but I don't know. I was kind of in the camp that I think Fitzpatrick was the guy through and through, unless, things went really, really bad.
Kendall, when was the last time Fitzpatrick made it through a full season as a starter?
It should have been last year.
I mean, yeah. Well,
but that's the thing. I don't think it would have even came into health. I think it would have came into, if he has a couple picks in a game somewhere in the middle of the season,
Yeah.
they bring him and make the change. I don't think that Fitzpatrick was going to be the full season option. I think he was the bridge.
That's what they've done with him the last 4 years.
Well, just because he's kind of been this mercenary. It's like, hey, we'll play for food and and
people keep letting him play because he's not bad.
I think he just knows that's his role on an NFL team.
Warren's going to be better with Heineke than he is with Fitzpatrick.
Who is?
McLaurin.
McLaurin. I thought you said Barnes. I was confused.
Yes. Matt Barnes.
Yeah.
So here's how I look at that, Kyle. Is I think McLaurin will have more receptions with Heineke, but I don't know if the big plays won't be there as much.
Don't care about that. Catches all day.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think we're going to see those big bombs to him, but I think he'll have more receptions for shorter yardage. And every once in a while, he'll pop one.
I mean, yeah.
All right, what do
Good take. Good strong take.
I'm just trying
He's a
to.
gunslinger.
I'm trying to look at Heineke's stats. Look at his long pass yesterday was 34 yards.
He had that nice throw to Logan Thomas for the touchdown.
Yeah.
But
Shut up, Mike.
But that's
You're talking to me?
I mean, Fitzpatrick was a gunslinger. I don't know enough about Heineke to know, but
nobody does.
But like Fitzpatrick will just throw and throw and throw and throw and throw. He won't stop.
Oh.
We'll see what this kid turns into.
So
Monday Night Football.
post game in Washington, Justin Herbert comes out and throws 47 times. Throws one touchdown, throws one interception. Herbert looked a little bit regressed yesterday, I think. Some of the decision making that he showed last year wasn't really there. It could just be growing pains in a new offense again. I still hope he does good. I like Justin Herbert.
Yeah, keep in mind, he's a young quarterback, and he was going against what could be, a top 5 defense this year.
Yes.
And he went in and got the win. Was it the prettiest game? No.
Yes.
But a win is a win.
Up next, the San Francisco 49ers took a trip to Motown.
Oof.
That was gross.
It was a gross game at the beginning, but then
They went up big in the beginning. Jared Goff throws a pick 6. Jimmy Garoppolo throws a couple of nice long bombs, hits Deebo Samuel for one.
Did Brandon Ayuk even play?
I don't think so.
He got blanked if he did.
Elijah Mitchell, I think, ran for a 60-yard touchdown or something stupid like that. It was hysterical. But
wait, there's
the
more.
Lions came
Vegas
back.
is never wrong. Vegas is never wrong.
Yeah, I had the
Lions
plus
came
9.
back. Jared Goff and the Lions had a chance to tie the game with 8 seconds in the game. Unfortunately, this is Jared Goff, so I didn't think he had it in him. I was praying for him, though, because I really want the kid to do well. I really do. I like Jared Goff.
Jerk me off.
So obviously I didn't watch the game. I'm just curious what your guys' thoughts are. How much of it is San Fran letting up versus Goff and the Lions really taking by storm and making this comeback?
I mean,
Yeah, go
ahead, Mass.
You got Kittle who botches the onside kick.
Yep.
You know, you're talking about one of the top 3 tight ends in the league. It's just it was a little of both.
But ISOL effectively eliminated Joey or Nick Bosa from the game after the first 5 snaps, which is super promising for the youngest kid to ever start at left tackle. Should raise one of the premier pass rushers in the game. The Lions' defense looked suspect.
Yeah, they're not that good.
And it got worse because Jeff Okudah tore his ACL.
Achilles.
Or his Achilles, one of the two. And he's out for the season. So already your number 1 quarterback is out for the season. This defense ain't going to look pretty for a little bit. But unfortunately...
It's one of those things where looking back, the Lions, I mean, we could talk about the last almost 10 years. They've had so many needs everywhere. It was kind of weird that they went with a corner at 3rd overall.
A bad throw.
They were just going best player available, I think. But also, that was Matt Nagy's regime that was making that draft. So,
Okudah was just last year, wasn't he?
Yeah. And this is Dan Campbell's first year.
Wait, did you say Matt Nagy?
Patricia.
That's what I meant.
That's why I was confused too. I was like, wait a minute, when the?
Sorry.
Matt Nagy he drafts for both teams.
Yeah, she was like, I want the Lions to suck. Yeah, I mean, the Lions are going to be suspect for a while.
We talked about this a few weeks ago because I remember bringing it up about the Giants even taking Saquon. Now, don't get me wrong. I love Saquon Barkley. I'm happy he's a Giant. He's been hurt, but I love the guy on the team. But
he was awful yesterday.
He kind of looked. I think he's still getting his feet wet.
No, I mean I had a good angle. I sat in the end zone of the game, and you could see blaring gaps. And I think he's just afraid to cut because there were so many times. I mean, it's easy for us to say when you don't have 300-pound men trying to rip your head off, but he was not cutting. And my friend who's next to me, who's a Giants fan, he's like, "Yeah, I just think it's a mental thing. He's just afraid." It's like when you watch freaking John Carlos Stanton's first few at bats after he came back from getting hit in the face. He's just timid. It's going to take a while, I think.
I agree 100%. I think that he'll get back to where he was. It may take a week or two, whatever. That's fine. But the point I mean is I look back, because that was 3-4 years ago now, that the Giants had a number 2 pick, and they didn't take a quarterback, which is fine, and they take the running back. Now, hindsight, you look at someone like Quentin Nelson.
Yeah, you would have had to take Nelson on that.
Who is probably the better team pick because he built for the team. Whereas Saquon's more of the immediate fix, but the Giants aren't good. So it's just an interesting thing to look back on where, the Lions probably could have used that 3 pick, even trade down and get more. Instead you take a corner where the numbers kind of show, how long is a corner usually good for in the NFL? About the same lifetime about the same as a running back.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
They get their 1 contract. It's one of those positions where you kind of look at it funny and it doesn't help. But anyway.
Yep.
He digresses. No, I agree. But I don't know.
Matt, what do we got next on the docket?
Kyle and Kendall.
Steelers.
Talk to me about the Steelers and the Bills.
In the Bulls.
And the Chicago Bulls. No wonder they won.
I burped as I went to go say the Bills.
Bulls.
Yeah.
So it was a tale of 2 different games. The first half, the offense looked like crap.
The whole game.
Bills came out 10-0. But the Steelers kept themselves in the game. And then the offense found their rhythm. And the defense played unbelievable.
The way I look at the Steelers, and we've kind of talked about this before, is the Steelers forever were a team that relied on their offense. Their offense went out and put up 40. They scored, and I think we're seeing the change where they have to rely on their defense to not give up points. Which their defense is very good. They have the talent. and they have the personnel to do it. But I don't think that the Steelers have that offense anymore that can just go and drop 35 at will.
Well, Ben is just.
I think they can down the stretch.
I mean, Ben is just not. He's obviously older. I mean, it's tougher with him, and he's not bad. I just don't think if you guys had a younger quarterback, your offense would be really good. You have good receivers, and I mean, Najee was his first game. He was getting his sea legs, but it's just tough to see Ben as all the good teams now have youthful quarterbacks for the most part. Yes, obviously the Bucs, but like I don't know. It's just tough watching Ben. He looks like a skyscraper with legs out there when he runs.
I mean, for me, I think
It's not the problem.
Well, I think for me, these teams are more even than they give each other credit for. I mean, I just think that it was a game of two good defenses, and offense that it's proven one that has some pop. It's just that I think the experience was more on the Pittsburgh side, and they were able to outlast. I didn't think it was going to be a high scoring affair, and a
lot of first on that offense. They had two offensive linemen that played their first game. The running back played the first game. Pat Fairmouth played more snap than Ebron. It was his first game.
Kyle said it. Go ahead, Kyle.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Kyle said it best. It was a game. It was two different games in one. Buffalo seemed to kind of control the narrative in the first half, and then they kind of got a little bit figured out in the second, and Pittsburgh was kind of able to outlast him. The defense stepped up big. The block punt for a touchdown was huge, and that at that point that takes a lot of the wind out of the sails. When it's later in the game, I think it was like 9 minutes left. You block a punt for a touchdown, and you've been grueling all day. It's still hot in September. You're playing your first full game. And it's just you get worn down, and it just that it's a momentum killer. And at that point, it seemed that the lights were off.
You want to know what's scary about that game?
What's scary about that game, Kyle?
The Steelers blitzed one time.
Blitzed or glitched?
Blitzed. They blitzed one time in that game.
I mean, they don't usually
And
have
they got
to. Did they run a 4-3 or a 3-4?
4-3.
Is somebody making tuna fish? What's going on?
I think Mock is
Oh,
doing
what's
some
going
shady
on
shit.
over there, man?
They blitzed one time in that game, and they were able to get to Josh Allen pretty much the entire game.
Yeah, Josh Allen, that was more of a Bills losing the game than the Steelers winning the game, I think. Josh Allen looked literally
that
nothing.
pisses me off.
I know,
That
but
pisses me off.
But with how good the Bills can be, I'm not taking something away from the Steelers because it was a good win. There was something up with Josh Allen yesterday, and I don't know what it was.
They threw 51 times.
Exactly, and they
And the
only put up
offensive line
16 points.
Because their offensive line is not that good.
Okay,
And
but
the Steelers
Josh Allen
have-
is not – he's a running quarterback. He hasn't had issues before in the past.
Okay. So they had a man spy on him the entire game. The Steelers had the linebackers to do that, and Joe Schobert and Devin Bush. They dropped 7 in the coverage every time. So it's 7-on-5 pretty much the entire game.
Understood. I'm just saying for Josh Allen to throw 51 times and not do much is still a little surprising. That's all. Regardless of the defense, the Steelers are a good defense. They're a great defense, but it still was a little baffling to see him just be a little disoriented. I don't know, for somebody who was basically almost an MVP last year.
Steelers defense can do that to people.
And that's fair. I get that. Patrick Queen is number 6 now. I don't like this number change bullshit.
I hate the number change.
It sounds so old, but it's like, what's his name? James Conner was wearing number 6. It looks so weird. I'm like, come on, dude.
I know. We talked about this when it first came up, but it shouldn't matter, but it does matter.
It's like Micah Parsons wearing linebackers wearing single or double or like number 11. It's just, come on.
The system made sense and it worked out.
Enough of this attachment to numbers.
Anywho,
the Seahawks went to Indianapolis,
and Russell Wilson.
That game kind of went how I thought it would.
Slung it around the field.
Russell Wilson showed out, and Carson Wentz, I guess, showed up. Carson Wentz passed for 251 and 2 touchdowns in his debut. Fumbled once and was sacked 3 times. Meanwhile, Russell Wilson passed for 254, 4 touchdowns, and looked like the best he has in years against what's supposed to be a really good Colts defense.
Colts are banged up already.
I got to tell you, and I'll go on the record and say it. Russell Wilson might be the most entertaining quarterback, at least of our generation.
He throws it with such ease.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I mean, really, because he's undersized. He runs around. He extends play. He makes these big throws. I think he's the most fun quarterback to watch play, easily of our generation. Just think about it. You watch a guy like Tom Brady. Tom Brady wins games, yet, but he's not fun to watch.
I
get
it. Good.
I'll tell you what, Russell
watch.
Wilson may be fun to watch. It's not fucking fun to play against twice a year.
Good thing you don't play him.
The Colts are really banged up already.
Colts are banged up, and I don't think that they're going to do anything this year. They'll make it to the playoffs.
The Titans didn't look good either.
They'll make it to the playoffs because of the strength of their division, and they're going to get bounced in the first round.
I don't think the Colts make the playoffs.
Yeah,
They're going to have to win the division.
It's going to be either them or Tennessee. If Tennessee plays like they did yesterday the rest of the season, I say it's a toss-up.
Nah, Tennessee, I think that was kind of a fluke game.
The Cardinals are good.
They didn't play bad.
And Justin Houston is on the Ravens.
Yeah, don't fucking remind me that the Cardinals are good. I know that the Cardinals are good.
Oh, yeah, you're a
Entire
Rams
NFC
fan.
West is good.
How about Van Jefferson, baby?
Steve, man. Tennessee offensive line is fucking trash.
Taylor
Their
Lewan
defense-
got bitched. 5 sacks. I mean, Chandler Jones is one of the most unstoppable guys in the league, but still, 5 sacks, though.
Yeah, again, don't remind me.
You have to play him twice a year.
We have
yeah,
had to
don't
for the
remind
last,
me.
4 or 5 seasons.
All right, kind of.
Seems like a logical transition. You want to do Arizona Titans?
No.
No, because they're not next on my list. The Vikings and the Bengals are.
Ended up
That was
being
a
a
good
good game. Joseph
That
Burrow.
was actually a really fun game to watch.
I watched it at
Vikings
Vikings are going to
MetLife.
be trash.
Yeah,
What did you
Vikings are
just
gonna be
say, Kyle
trash, but we
Souls?
knew that.
What?
Who's going to be trash?
The Vikings.
Vikings.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's
here's
all I
the
gotta
thing.
say.
Burrow is probably my favorite quarterback of the newer generation of quarterbacks. I'd say like the year after Mitch and Mahomes were drafted, whatever that generation is.
Mass, would you agree that he's the best quarterback in the AFC North?
No.
Rank him right now. Rank him. Big Ben's got to be at the bottom at this point. I
Baker
go.
wins
Mayfield,
football game.
Lamar Jackson.
I go Lamar, Baker,
This whole conversation
Joe,
is to
Ben.
incite Kyle getting mad.
No, because it's true though. We're not talking historical. We're talking right now. Ben is the 4th best
You're right.
quarterback in
We're
that
talking
division.
right now. We're talking about who wins football games.
Correct.
The
That
Steelers'
defense
defense.
does, not Big Ben. Who's a day manager? Get out of here with that.
Anyways, so the Bengals
His
actually
play didn't
really-
come back in the second half and win that game.
Just don't go to the bathroom with Ben Roethlisberger. That's all I got to say.
We already stopped talking about the Steelers.
He started it.
I
He's
know
a
I
fucking
did.
Bronco
did.
fan. They're gonna go 4
They
and 13.
fucking won,
so-
baby. Let's
Well-
go. Let's go. Against
Anyway,
your New York Football
Okay.
Giants. Sorry, Mass. Go ahead.
Joe Burrow looked like a lot of fun. His connection with Jamar Chase
Oh, that was
looked
beautiful.
intact. T. Higgins is going to be an absolute threat.
They have some weapons, and
Uh,
Mixon finally showed up.
Mixon finally showed
Much
up.
to
and the
fantasy owners'
defense
delight.
doesn't
For the
look
year, don't
bad.
worry.
Yeah, he'll get hurt like
The
week
defense
3.
doesn't look great, but the defense does not look bad.
Von Bell.
I'd
Von Bell does
say-
not play for them anymore.
If they continue on their trajectory, they're going to be in the playoffs next year.
Drake Kirkpatrick. Yeah, no, I know.
Of the offensive line.
The Vikings looked terrible.
Oh.
Dalvin Cook,
Ooh, excuse me.
That's pretty
I
good.
mean,
I am getting drunk with sports.
The
Um,
Vikings,
The
are a
Vikings
team that is
defense
prime for a
wash.
fresh young quarterback.
what is this? I hate
say
this.
that again, Mom.
The Vikings are a team that are prime for a rookie quarterback or a young quarterback to come in.
Yes.
We just said it.
You
about
like that?
Washington. They have a good enough defense.
Chase Keenum.
They have offensive weapons.
Bach, here's the problem, though.
TJ Yates.
Kirk's contract is pretty much guaranteed the next 2 years.
Oh, Kirk ain't going nowhere. It's kind of like, who
Yeah,
else will we get? It's like, do we get rid of him? Nah, who else are we going to get?
Well, no, it's not even that. His contract is guaranteed for the next 2 years. That's like $40 million each year if you cut him.
Brown.
Oh no, I know they committed to Cousins. I'm saying they made the wrong move.
Committed the
Yeah,
Cousins.
they absolutely did.
Ba-dum. Ken and I are doing our own show over here.
The Vikings defense does not look good. The Vikings
cornerback's
offense
gotta
looks
jump.
pedestrian this
Gotta
year.
jump on that. Jump.
I mean, Jefferson couldn't get open. Thielen had a nice grab in the end zone, but for the most part, I don't think most of them or either of them did like a holy shit thing all day long.
What was Dalvin? Was Dalvin pretty pedestrian yesterday?
Dalvin was.
I watched part of that game, but
20 for 61 and 1 touchdown.
That's not good for Dalvin. But
And
man,
then 6 for 43 yards on receptions.
does Geno Atkins
The
still play for the
Vikings
Bengals?
Never had a good offensive line.
He can't still play for
I
them.
don't think so.
Or Dunlap? No, Dunlap got traded. Sorry,
Yeah, I don't think
digress.
that-
And
that
Geno
defense-
Atkins, I believe, is a Seahawk.
Yeah, that Bengals defense is no longer. What is that noise?
It's just Kyle just gravitating towards the earth.
That looked like a giant beetle flying us to the microphone.
Is it me?
It sounds like like one of those shock lights for moths.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else got anything to say on that game?
That's got to be on purpose. Mark, is that you?
What?
What's that noise?
I don't think it's me.
Is that
It's-
Eric Weems?
It's like a buzzing.
It sounds like somebody's like
mock.
putting a taser over the microphone slowly.
It is mock.
It's like on command.
Every time it does
Wait,
it.
is that Sammy Watkins?
Anyways.
Is this Sammy Watkins game that everyone gets once a year? Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Always week 1 too.
Yeah, week
It's
one.
always 900, and
Gets
then
it out
then
of
he
the way.
breaks his leg.
Yeah.
Kyle,
Yeah,
talk to me about the Jaguars and the Texans.
Oof! No thanks.
didn't expect the Jaguars to get blown out like that.
Actually,
though.
I kind of did because the Jags are always going to jag.
Yeah, but the Texans have Tyrod Taylor.
Everyone jags and they jag.
Yeah. Well, I was kind of reading.
Trevor Lawrence looked good, but fucking terrible at the same time.
Oh,
He's
looks like a rookie.
going to be good.
huh.
He's
So
gonna,
Zach Wilson looked like a rookie. Trevor Lawrence looked rough.
What were we saying, Kendall?
he's going to be good. He can make those long throws.
It's hard with the delay. It's hard.
I know.
It sounds really weird to say, but it's almost like it was a trap game right off the bat, week 1, because people are ready to write off Houston just because of everything that's happened in the offseason.
I didn't. I drafted Brandon Cooks and a couple other guys. I'm like, the Texans might not be that terrible this year.
And I guess, it's just the rookie quarterback thing, the rookie, head coach thing. I think that all kind of comes into play a little bit. There's definitely a learning curve at the NFL level. And I think it was kind of the perfect storm for Houston. It's just, hey, we're ready to show up and let's prove that, we're not going to be, just the laughing stock and go out and lose week 1. And I think that's kind of just what happened. They played well enough. They kept the Jaguars in check in basically every, facet of the game, and they came home with a win.
And I tell you, we talk about quarterbacks that somehow just win games. That's Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah. No matter where
Yeah.
he goes, he,
Has no business
Say
winning
what
some of
you
the
want
games
about
he
the guy.
wins.
He comes in and wins games.
yeah. I agree.
All right, Mike,
Yo.
talk to me about Titans Cardinals.
Well, I watched only part of it. I watched only part of it because
All right,
let.
you're being put on the Giants game then. Kendall, tell me about the Titans.
That's fair.
Cardinals.
So the Titans Cardinals was to me a game where I think that the Titans thought they could show up and hey, we'll stay in the game and we'll pull off a win in the end. But Cardinals jumped all over them early. I think that the offense has really come into its own. All the receivers are explosive. Kyler Murray could run around with the best of them. And it just the Titans didn't show up. They contained Derrick Henry the entire game. I think his stats through the first half. I think he touched the ball. We'll call it 6 times for 8 yards. And as far as I'm concerned, that Titans offense is built around, hey, we give the ball to Derrick Henry to set up for play action later, and that didn't occur. You know, they got behind early, and then they're playing catch up. They were forcing the ball, and they seemed ill prepared. That was kind of the biggest takeaway. And then for Arizona, they got up so big that they could just cruise. There was drives in the second half that just like, all right, well, we're just going to kill clock. We'll 3 and out because we don't have to do anything else. I don't think it's representative of what we'll see of Tennessee for the year. I think they just, they got bested on a week 1 by a team that's not a joke.
Don't remind Matthew of that.
There was a lot of the top tier running backs that had a bad week 1.
Yeah, no kidding. I had Mostert.
Aaron Jones. Yeah, Aaron Jones was ugly.
I wasn't going to put Mostert in that category, but.
No, but Mostert is...
He was a starting running back in a Shanahan offense.
He's a solid RB2. He's good, but yeah, it's such the... Yeah.
Just a sec. Can we stop with the Shanahan offense thing?
No.
Shanahan offenses feature running backs. That's the only thing I meant by that.
He's kind of whatever at that. I know everyone jumps on the Shanahan thing, but I don't buy it. But anyway.
What do you buy?
I mean, look at it.
Oh, I got to give Shannon at least the running thing. I mean, I get it. The guy blows games, but I mean, the running back has always been
The
good.
missile guy, like over 100 yards.
When did he become run first? Because he didn't do it in the fucking Super Bowl.
Well, listen, that's part of the reason why they lost.
The superb owl.
That's what I mean.
But I mean, listen, I will forever go back to this example because in this past heavy NFL we have, I guess it was 2 years ago now when San Fran was good. They had 3 running backs that could move the ball effectively. It was Breida,
Coleman,
Kevin Coleman,
and these guys they're nothing special, but they just the blocking was good. They ran non-traditionally, and it was effective. So that's the reason I will give him the nod.
Yeah,
for
the
now.
guys will get the numbers. It's just they're not gonna, they're not gonna game manage well.
They're not top tier running backs. They're nobodies.
It's kind of like the Patriots with their wide receivers. They never really had like a stud, but they just knew how to use them.
So we're gonna get back to this. I will bow out if with Mostert going down. If the next guy up comes on and has a good year, I will hold on to the mentality that I think.
Well, what's the deal with Trey Sermon? Was he just a late scratch or was he hurt?
I don't know.
Because he's healthy scratch. Huh.
Yep.
So anyway, we'll continue on.
No, we won't.
Dolphins Patriots.
Game of
Two
the
Alabama.
week.
I didn't watch any of the 4:00 games other because I was at the Giants game, so I got nothing on these.
Man, you're gonna say that like you're just rubbing it in at this point. Oh, I did because I was at.
So
I was at the Giants game.
Dolphins Patriots was a very interesting game. Mac Jones' first pass went backwards. It was a fumble.
Of course.
Oh no, that's the tuck rule though.
Yes. Didn't Damian Harris fumble? Has anyone seen or heard from him, or is he just like buried under Gillette Stadium now because he fumbled?
Oh yeah.
Because Bill Belichick is like, nope.
Nope, you're done.
Jonas Gray, 4 touchdowns. Next day, cut.
Yep.
Greatest sport.
It was like practice.
They should do a 30 for 30 at Jonas
be-
Gray.
What if I told you rushed for 4 touchdowns and were cut?
Because you were probably hammered. But yeah, no, I didn't watch much of it. I just watched the highlights. So I
mean,
I went to the Giants.
there was nothing really special about that game.
It was an AFC East game.
It was a game where both teams have to win ugly to win.
Yeah, I mean, it was a defensive game where they picked on the rookie quarterbacks. Or the young quarterbacks, I guess, because 2 was.
And I think there was a lot of turnovers.
2 threw 1, and then he fumbled 1. No, he didn't fumble at all. Mac didn't throw a interception, but so there were 2 fumbles there were 2 turnovers by the quarterbacks. See, here's the thing I struggle with. I think Mac Jones is going to be good. I think he will eventually be at minimum 15 quarterback.
You mean by the end of the year or like in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, he'll be a minimum top 15 quarterback, and he has the potential to go higher. But I think his floor, when he gets like little bit more experience, is going to be a top 15. He'll be the new Dalton line.
That's not a good line.
But that's his floor, I think. I think he has the potential to get better. I don't see it from Tua. And I've been a huge Tua defender. I don't see it from him.
Yeah, it's just like, because I listen to a Miami-based sports show, usually their podcast, and they're not, it's a lot of like, oh, well, he won the game or he was not bad. It's just like, you don't want your top 5 pick to be not bad or, yeah, he's not Herbert, but he's whatever. It's like, no, you invested a lot in this guy, and at some point you might have to look in the mirror and say you made the wrong choice. Being a game manager not turning the ball over is not good enough in today's NFL.
If I could interject, I would settle for not bad.
But you're not going to win, though. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not being sarcastic about it, but as a Giants fan, yeah, you would settle for not bad. But
we don't win anyway.
I know that, and I guess you'd rather be 10-7 than 7-10, I guess. But which I'm still getting used to, by the way. I don't like the math on it. It's not even numbers anymore. Jeff Fisher can't go 8-8 anymore. It's just he'd have to go 8-1. It's just
7-9.
It's just not right. It's just not right. But no, he'd have to be 7-10. You do 17 games if Jeff Fisher was still coaching. He couldn't have his 8-8.
Jeff Fisher would go 8-1 and 8.
Yeah, he'd have to just. I gotta get the 8-8. But as somebody has, the Dolphins maybe not win that division because the Bills are good, but I mean they're poised with they have a great defense, good receivers. I mean if they hit with Tua, if they had like a Herbert, they would possibly win that division. But it seems like they're not progressing well because Tua just doesn't seem to be getting over that hump.
I honestly don't think he will. That's the hard thing for me to say.
Yeah.
And legitimately see why the Dolphins may or may not have considered Deshaun Watson earlier in the year.
Which, by the way, he should file a grievance because he has no reason not to play, technically.
We talked about this last week a little bit, and I don't remember kind of what the reason is and like where we stand. Did we say that it's just like the NFL is kind of just being non-committal?
They're hoping that it goes away itself, but like I said though, he as a player in the Players Association, he already looked. I'm not hurt. I'm not in the exempt list. I'm not arrested.
Here's the thing.
There's no reason why he can't play. That's all I'm saying. If I was him, I don't think he should.
The NFL is treating this as an unofficial suspension.
But that means, but
you don't play,
okay?
Because you don't want to play, and we won't suspend you.
But maybe he does want to play.
Players are healthy scratches all the time.
But he's not as. It's kind of like the Cole Beasley argument we had with Paul a few weeks ago. He's not. But what's the reason why he's a healthy scratch? They can't just give him a healthy. Like he could file something, and some of these players probably have a healthy scratch reason, like a Trey Sermon. But there's probably different reasons that they're just like, okay, I keep my mouth shut. But Deshaun Watson's good enough. He's not going to have the public backing because of all the shit that's going on with him. But he could literally say, look, I'm here to play. I know the playbook. Let me play. I'm not hurt. I'm not in the exempt list. So what's the deal?
So here's the other side to think about. The team
you're not starting him because he doesn't want to play.
I
don't think
he'd rather collect his game checks at this point. But I don't know.
Well, think about it. He's a healthy scratch, so he's still getting paid.
I don't know if he gets paid his game checks, though. You got to play.
I believe if you're a healthy scratch, you still get your game checks because you're. I think you're still on the active roster.
Mock is correct.
Okay.
But the other thing is really if you file, the team could just, hey, we're in trade talks. How many times? I mean, we see players that are kind of on that trade bubble. They're a healthy scratch. I mean, I think it does the Texans a disservice because he's better than Tyrod Taylor, but I mean, if that's the route they want to go,
he's come out and said though he doesn't want to play.
But when did he say that though?
Like a week ago.
Okay. I know. I didn't see that. That's why. I'm not saying you're wrong. I didn't see that.
Do you guys remember Bobby?
I'm just gonna double check that.
Yeah. About a week ago.
About a week ago. Whenever I hear that will forever play in my head.
About a week ago.
Kendall thinks that's the greatest hip hop song of our generation.
I know, but I'll tell you what, the memes are just undefeated.
Are they?
Oh, they are.
They've had a couple losses, I thought.
Oh, what have you been watching? Well, I mean, we can beat this to death. Do you want to continue on? What games we want to talk about here?
Yeah.
Did we finish up the 1 o'clock slate?
Did we finish up what?
The 1 o'clock slate.
Yeah, we're into the 4 o'clocks.
Nice. Oh, that's right. We're talking about.
So why don't you tell us about your 4 o'clock?
Oh, I was at the Giants game. I don't know if you know that.
No way, dude.
I couldn't watch any of the others, so I was there. Yeah. Oh, pass interference. 3 flags on that. Sorry. Yeah, I went and sat behind the end zone, and I was happy. I mean, the Broncos had good time management. The third quarter, actually, they had a touch. Their first drive took almost over 8 minutes, I think, and they just owned the whole quarter. And yeah, they weren't bad. Teddy was more of a game manager, but no worse than Locke would do, which I'm fine with. But that's another top 10 pick I'm pissed about that they had. They kind of wasted that they didn't get right, but whatever. But I mean, the defense was good. Vaughn had a couple sacks. We only gave up like 1 or 2 big plays. We converted on big third downs, and I liked Fangio. He was aggressive. He went for it on 4th down a few times. Yeah, I mean, there were a lot of Broncos fans there. It was just a good time, and I think the Giants aren't terrible. I think their O-line needs to get better, obviously, but their defense wasn't that bad. Blake Martinez was everywhere, all over the field. He's such an underrated linebacker. Mock, you agree, right?
Yeah, Blake Martinez is a stud.
Yeah, he's just never talked about like
right
in the higher up of linebackers, but he is ridiculous. But yeah, I mean that Daniel Jones fumble, that was the game right there. Everyone knew it in the stadium. But Teddy played well. I mean, I've always liked Teddy ever since he was in Minnesota. I was happy when we got him as a backup. When they named him the starter, I was like, oh, that means Locke must really suck. But I mean, Teddy's good. He had some good scrambles, some good throws. Judy got hurt, which sucks. But other than that, I mean, like I said, the Giants didn't play terribly. But Barkley, we touched on before. I think it's a mental thing with him at this point.
I think, yeah, it's going to take him some time, I think, to get his feet back under him. I agree with almost everything you said there. I mean, the Giants' defense, when it started off, I thought they looked good. But then they spent 58 minutes on the fucking field.
Yeah.
And eventually it wears you down. The Giants, I think, for as long as I've been watching football, are terrible on 3rd and long. They will always give up the first down. Offensively, there was things that I saw that I liked, and there was things that I didn't like. Jones, I hold out hope every week, and just every week it's just this kid doesn't have it. It's just
Yeah,
he just doesn't have it.
I mean, he had a good scramble on that play, but just that fumble, like
well, it's the wind out of the sails moment. It's like that drive. They were going to score a touchdown that drive.
They just converted 3rd down, and I don't understand. I know, like I said, I know it's easy for us to say we're sitting up in the stands, fucking drinking beer, but it's like you have to hold on to that ball with your life and just brace for somebody to hit you.
Slide.
I don't get it.
Slide.
Even if you just hold on to it like it's your freaking child.
No, listen, I agree. I mean, the quarterbacks have been told you slide. I mean, hey, listen, you fire up your teammates when you throw a shoulder down, yeah, but that only works when you don't fumble the football. It just I don't understand it.
He had a couple of plays where I was really like, oh, he drew that offside. They got the free deep shot. I think it was to Slayton. I was like, man, the kid has the IQ. He has talent.
He has moments.
Never at the same time. They said it, I mean, over and over again during the broadcast. Every passing play, as soon as it snapped, wherever he's throwing the ball, he's staring at that.
Oh, we saw that. I saw that Shepard cross they threw the touchdown. You could see that developing from a mile away, and he was just waiting for him to just break. And I was like, damn, everybody in the stadium can see it right now.
I'm telling you, the announcers on every passing play, every play, they talk about it. It's just, I don't think he has what it is to be, not even an average starting quarter. I just don't think he has what it takes to be a starting quarterback.
Yeah, it's just it's kind of the same thing I am with Locke, where it's just you're bummed that they wasted a top 10 pick on, but you just keep throwing darts till you hit one of them. I guess. I mean, that's just how it's gonna go. I mean, that's what the Browns did. You just keep drafting quarterbacks, and they finally got a franchise quarterback. It seems so.
Today I was playing draft day do over, and I was just looking back at the year that Daniel Jones came out. Outside of Kyler Murray, there was no options at quarterback. Really, you look at the guys that went there was nothing there. So I
There
said,
wasn't.
okay, stay at that point because they still had Eli for another year. They don't draft a quarterback. They draft like they could, Josh Allen, the linebacker, whatever they do. Okay, Eli goes another year. I mean, we still had the 4th pick anyway, so I don't think it would have been, any lower than that or high, whatever. So then I look at the next year's draft and it's like, man, you have Herbert there, and it's like, it's just the timing. Didn't
but
work,
I mean, it's hindsight is always 2020. I mean, of all the players that get drafted, were Jones and Eli on the same team?
Yes.
Eli's
Jones
last year was
rookie
Jones's
year.
rookie year.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I'm saying. They could have, because he took over like halfway through for Eli, or it was like it wasn't even halfway. It was like week 3 or 4. So I mean, they could have rode it out with Eli. They had him for that last year. I mean, and at worst, I don't think they would have had anything other than a top 5 pick. So the end result would have been similar. But again, hindsight is always, 2020.
Mock, you know who I saw got burned by Adam Thielen yesterday?
Who's that?
Eli Apple.
Good. Fuck him.
He was such a trash talker, and he sucks.
He's always been bad.
Never cared for that guy.
All right, next game. The holy shit, what happened game of the week.
Don't even mention the name. We already know who wants it.
Who wants it?
Souls, we haven't heard from you in a while.
I saw the highlights of this game, but
The holy what happened game.
Saints defense came out to play.
There you go.
I would have laughed. He was like, "What game we talking?" Actually,
the
no.
Saints defense came out to play.
The holy hell shit game could have been the Browns game, but not the what happened. That would not be the what happened game. So that could have been that game. But
We'll get to that soon. Don't worry.
All right, Chris Shingles, go ahead.
Were you talking about the Packer game?
Yes.
All right. Aaron Rodgers looked like doo-doo. Jameis did not. He didn't throw for any yards. He just had all touchdowns. He showed up to Green Bay 13 every time.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying earlier. He's just like meh.
This is easy.
He pretty much had a check down and he got a touchdown out of it. It's kind of hard to fuck up that.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. He threw 30 interceptions and 30 touchdowns. He fucked up.
Well, he got LASIK eye surgery, so he's good now. Did you see what he said in that post-game interview? They were asking
What did my trainer say?
Yeah, he's like, oh, something my coach said. It was something inspirational. What did he say? I can't remember. He said something inspirational. It's like, James, you're an idiot.
Fucking love him though.
Yeah, he's
Eat that dub.
But but it makes me wonder.
That's
like,
a W. That's
what was Sean Payton thinking last year? Like not going to him over Taysom Hill. Like I don't know. It's one game. It's an overreaction, but it's like Taysom Hill clearly is not.
Sean Payton or Taysom Hill has some kind of dirty laundry on Sean Payton.
But he's actually not a bad gadget guy. But to have him be possibly your
he's
starting
not a
quarterback. No, he's a guy that, like, if you had to put him in a quarterback, he could throw the ball, but it's not something that he would be your QB1 starting every week, unless it's an emergency.
I don't think the Saints wanted Jameis to play last year.
I don't think so either.
But why,
No,
though?
I think they wanted him to sit for the full year.
Why?
Yeah,
And then they were going to make him the starting quarterback this year.
He's not a rookie. He doesn't need, like, to learn, I don't think. I don't know.
He needed to learn Payton's system and how to not fuck up. Bye, Mock.
Oh, he left. But like, it's a different situation. Like Tampa Bay, they would just throw. Saints have a good running back, and I think they wanted him to understand. Hey, you don't got to throw the deep ball every fucking play.
Right. Well, I think for New Orleans, I think their plans for post Drew Brees wasn't consisting of Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill. I think it's just kind of how it just worked out that way. I think in their heart of hearts they had a plan. Their plan would have been, we're going to draft somebody and then he'll learn under Drew. And I think sometimes players just kind of fall into your lap, and Hill is that perfect example. Hey,
What are you doing on my lap?
right? And, hey, this guy's good. This could be our gadget guy. And then I think coaches, you fall in love with that. It's like, I got this in my back pocket that I can just bring out. Like, but how could I do that more? And then that's when you start to you sacrifice play calling for gimmick, and that's kind of the situation that New Orleans fell into.
I mean, that's what happens with like when a backup quarterback comes in and does really well. It's because the team didn't game plan, or there's not enough tape on this guy yet.
Right.
But then Taysom Hill, the cat was kind of out of the bag, and everyone kind of knew, okay, there's probably just 4 or 5 plays they could run with him. So he kind of ended up being a moot player.
I think it was kind of Taysom Hill's auditioning, and they didn't really care for what they saw.
Well, they shouldn't. He was terrible in his showings.
Say one nice thing
Also,
about
Drew
Taysom
Lock
Hill,
was
man.
not a first-round pick.
He's a decent tight end.
I just want
The
that to be
tightest
known.
of ends.
Drew Lock was not a first-round pick.
No, I agree.
No, like he was a second-round pick.
Locke?
He was.
Who am I thinking of then?
Brock Osweiler. Just kidding.
No, I'm not thinking of Brock Osweiler. Who am I thinking?
Who was the fucking kid from Old Miss?
Paxton Lynch.
That's it.
No, that's what I'm thinking
He-
of. Yeah, that was a while ago.
He was from Memphis, by the way, buddy.
Yeah,
Was it
I knew
Memphis?
that. He fizzled out. Elway likes him tall.
He was on the Steelers for like 30 seconds.
Oh,
Yeah,
how's Charlie
All right.
Batch doing? Love
Listen.
Charlie Batch.
that guy is a saint.
He's as old as a saint.
Yes.
The last of the 4:00 season or session.
The Brownies.
The Brownies and the Chiefs. My favorite game of the day.
I didn't watch that game, Kendall. I was at the Giants game.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I don't know if you know.
Welcome back, Mark.
Oh, thanks. Oh, thanks, Mark. Hi, Mark. We missed you.
Did-
This was
Kind of had a
tail
feeling
end.
that was exactly what was going to happen now. The Browns were going to take a lead, and then they would fuck up, and the Chiefs would take total advantage of what they did.
Like, there's no
It hurts
safe
me
lead with
so
the Chiefs.
bad, though.
Or against the Chiefs. 14 points is nothing for the Chiefs. It's like
No.
the Warriors being down 20.
Well, Mark said it best. He said it sometime last year, year before. It's like they basically go out in the huddle like, we're going to score a touchdown in this drive. And they just go and do it. It's like they score at will.
They're the only team that can do that, and it's just...
You guys,
What did you say?
Sammy Watkins is third. No, I lied.
It's,
Phillips.
Phillips.
So,
No, it's just crazy
so
that...
the Chiefs.
Go ahead, Mark, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All right.
I'm going.
I
They're a
will go. All
second
right.
half team.
I'll say my thing real quick.
Mock talk.
All right, mock talk. Yeah, mock talk.
The Chiefs are a second half team.
Yeah.
A lot of their games, you see, they'll kind of go down in the first half, and then they come into and they're like, all right, we're going to score 35 points in 2 quarters now.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what they do.
It's
and,
just
and like Kendall
defense
mentioned, I
is-
mean,
Atrocious. though.
their defense is bad. But again, how long did the Saints have a bad defense?
a while, and all they
10
did was put up
years.
40 points
They
with
just-
Breeze and Jimmy Graham. That's all they needed to do.
Yeah.
But
You know, I think the Chiefs defense is average at best.
Yes.
It's beatable, but they have some talent. But they're a second half team. But again, when they get in the huddle, if they say, "Hey, let's score a touchdown now," it's like, okay, they're going to score. It's just there's just way too much offensive talent for them. It's
Did you hear
it's
what
fun to watch.
Mahomes said about Tyreek Hill?
What's that?
Sometimes it'd be like that.
Oh yeah, because of the meme.
Yeah.
But I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of true. I mean,
Well, that's
think
all
about
they-
it. How often does Russell Wilson do that with Metcalf now?
that's all you need
Just
to do
throw
is
it up.
just allow your receivers to just because defenders can only, especially against Tyreek Hill or Metcalf,
so
play
much.
defense for so long before they just got to break away, and that's honestly how Rodgers was for a while. Was he that's why those guys were getting open. He wasn't running. They weren't running great routes. It was just he stayed in the pocket for an extra 2 seconds,
The
and those
play
guys
breaks
were just,
down, and they just do
yeah,
whatever they
that's all you
want.
need to do. That play to Tyreek Hill was obviously not a design play, but he has 7 seconds, and it was just like,
Right, I mean,
fuck it.
It was the ugliest 75-yard touchdown I've ever seen.
But then you get like
Yes.
a stud where he could just take off no problem. So it's unfair.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Browns were not out of it. They had the ball last, and Baker threw kind of an out of bounds duck, and got picked off.
The quacker.
Last game.
Who played in
On
the last
Sunday.
game?
I believe it was Giants Broncos, right? You were at that game, weren't
I
you?
was at that game. I was not able to watch the other games. Guys, I don't know
Because
if
you were at the game.
I was at the game, guys. The Giants game, the New York Football Giants in East Rutherford.
Oh, that's New Jersey, right?
They don't have TVs where I was sitting, so I wasn't able to watch the other games because I was at the Giants game.
Right.
Okay.
You could have watched it on your phone, you fucking poser.
No shot. I was watching the Giants game at the
Ooh.
Giants game.
I like the poser call out. That's pretty
Poser.
good.
Bunch of posers. I did watch part of the Rams game though, and that Van Jefferson catch. Eddie Jackson, you gotta put hands on him. Is Eddie Royal still playing? I don't think so.
No, too bad. One of my favorite players.
So far behind.
What was that, Kyle?
You guys are so far behind
With
in
what?
that game.
What game?
The one you're watching.
How do you know?
You can see our screen.
Because I have it on my phone, and I'm way far ahead.
Nice man, congrats,
So-
dude.
So this
Hey,
little,
when you're at that Broncos game,
this little
Giants game actually.
they can see what we're doing on this little block right here. So when we're not, so we won't be able to see it. But
What's that bright light behind you, Kyle?
It's the living room, or it's the dining room light in the window.
Which is
probably
it, the
me
living
like
room?
actually, I think
dying.
that's the War of the
Angels
Worlds
don't
alien.
get-
I'm pretty sure.
The War of the Worlds.
Yeah, the alien thing. It's right behind. Get down, Kyle. Anyway, Massey, it's your time to shine.
Moving on.
Tell us about SNF on NBC.
Yes, with Carrie Underwood.
Anyone want to sing the song?
Fucking love Carrie Underwood.
Nary.
So yeah, I mean, Rams Bears Sunday night, first opening game with fans in SoFi. Big to do. What the fuck ever. I'm not jealous that I'm not going to get to go this year at all. No.
Why?
Okay.
'Cause I had a fucking wedding this year, and I got told I can't afford it.
Hey, listen, like 21 Pilots were there or something, or some terrible band that was.
I think it was One Republic.
Oh yeah, well, it's the same
yes.
band though.
They're better than 21 Pilots. I think. Hey, Mass, just tell your wife and say, look, you can't take the money with you. You've never seen a U-Haul behind a hearse, right? So just spend the money.
Like that a lot. That's a good line.
That's a Denzel quote.
Is it?
You never see a U-Haul behind a hearse.
It's good. What movie
Take
is
that to
from?
the
Is
grave.
that Training Day?
You all you
Cradle to the
motherfuckers.
So,
Kendall,
I
save
mean,
your movie.
All right, I see how it is.
Right,
All right.
Kendall?
Go ahead, Matt.
Bears-
Break down the Matt Stafford game.
the Bears look like what everybody thought that they would.
Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton was a bit of an upgrade over Mitch Trubisky, I think.
I don't think so.
I think he was a bit of an upgrade in the fact that he was actually moving the offense down the field consistently.
Mitch could do that too.
But Mitch would throw an interception every other drive.
Mitch Richmond.
Someone do a pick in the first drive.
Yeah, but it was a tip.
So here's the thing. I think there's a somewhat like lateral movement. I mean, I don't know. You lose the athleticism, but you gain the experience in the Trubisky-Dalton debate. The thing for me for Chicago, and it remains the same, is Nagy is like a panicked play caller. You know, back to back going for those fourth down, plays. It's panicked. It's panicked. You know, you get down a little bit. It's like, oh my god, we got to tear this up right now. And he did. Football, it's 60 minutes. You know, there's a lot that could happen, and he just. I don't understand what the thought process is with him. He can't get out. He can't get out of his own way. Credit. The Rams played extremely well. You know that offense. Looked exactly like his advertised, and Chicago. There was times where hey, we can move the ball too, but then they get in these situations where they try to do too much and it just bites them in the ass every time. So unfortunately, it's a long season, but I think we're almost in for more of the same, because what's going to happen is they're gonna start off, they'll start off 0-3 or whatever, and then the media will start talking, and then they'll feel the pressure. Oh, we got to force Fields in, and then
Fields the pressure.
Exactly, and then it spirals into itself.
Yes, amongst
Kendall.
itself.
Kendall.
Yes.
Kendall.
Yes.
Kendall.
Yes.
They're tied for first.
They are tied for first.
Wait, did everyone go 0-1?
But we're talking about week one here. We're talking about week 1.
Oh,
We're talking about what we've seen from this previous week
Sorry,
of football.
is Henry
What
Ruggs
they need
hurt
to do
again?
is run the fucking ball, and David Montgomery showed he can do it.
Right.
No, they just forgot that Henry Ruggs existed.
Oh my God, Henry Ruggs is hurt again.
David Montgomery played really well yesterday. But they were like, nah, we're not going to
Well,
run the football.
I agree, and I think a lot has to do with in the first quarter there. Let's 4th down. Yeah, we'll go for it. Yeah, any play, that's fine. You guys know football, right? Good luck.
What was Matt Forte's stats?
I believe he had 2 Triscuit and cream cheese sandwiches,
That sounds pretty good, actually.
and he was in bed by 9:30.
Yes, a late night for Mr. Forte. That's not his forte. See what I did there? Because that's his
So
last name.
Very punny of you.
Punny.
Like,
All right.
shut
We're
up.
doing our own
I mean-
show over here.
No
Kyle,
shit.
The Rams
I've been
came
trying
out
to talk.
firing on
You
all
guys-
cylinders.
Kyle, relax. Just let Maz talk, all right? Jesus.
I've been trying to talk tonight, but no one hears me.
Well, I do hate remote shows. I just wanted to.
Yeah, guys.
This is one of the better ones that we've had, though.
Thank you.
But also, Drew Lock is not a first-round pick.
All right, that's my fault. I got him confused.
Yeah, you're fucking better.
But in conclusion, unless anybody wants to say anything more, Rams looked pretty good.
Yes, I like Stafford on that team.
It was as advertised. Kendall said the Rams came out firing on all cylinders,
Bob Trees had a good game.
and
I didn't get that.
Bobby Trees,
Bobby Trees' little toe tap.
Robert Woods,
Jason Peters got hurt.
Jason Peters got hurt, and then
Jason Peters.
whatever
ball.
their second string left tackle got hurt.
Jason Peters is made of fucking glass.
So
Yeah,
Marcus-
and then Leonard Floyd still couldn't get pressure on
Leonard
the
Floyd
left
still
tackle.
plays for the Bears.
I saw some article where they had Leonard Floyd in like the top 10 outside linebackers.
Yeah, that article was wrong. Let's stop getting off track about this stuff.
Yeah, Kyle.
Sorry, Dad.
Okay.
I
Mass, what were you saying?
I was talking to Mock about this before we came on the show. We were talking about how we thought that Stafford was an improvement over what McVay was looking for in his system, and how Stafford's just good enough to overcome what McVay is asking for. We were talking about how Goff may have fallen victim to McVay and not the other way around. That's how we got there. I'm interested to see what McVay can do with the quarterback that has a pocket presence. But I also really want to see him with somebody that has the talent to get outside the pocket, like a healthy Cam Newton like 7 years ago, or Russell Wilson, or a less rapey Deshaun Watson.
You're talking like hypothetically speaking?
Yes. Because I think Mock's right. I think a mobile quarterback is more what McVay wants, because we all saw how he fell in love with John Wolford the last 2 games of last year until Seahawks basically decapitated him. And tonight we got the Ravens and the Raiders.
Yep.
Halftime coming up next.
14-10 going in a half.
Ravens have looked like the far better team this entire game.
Well, that's not hard. The Raiders' defense is fucking terrible.
Yeah.
And then, honestly, the Ravens' defense is much better. Because they just let them right back in this game.
Yeah.
But they lost a lot of people due to torn ACL.
Yeah, 2 on back-to-back plays, literally the day before the season started.
That's why you do half pads. That's what you do in Madden. You do half pads. So your players don't get hurt. Tell them,
Kendall, can we go to a break and then come back on the other side and we'll do the other 2 segments?
Yeah, well,
Home of getting sports with Drunk on Monday nights. PPRN Radio. Home of the Peter Pinot Show. Peter Pinot Show. PPRN Radio.
And now, back to getting sports with Drunk on the PPRN Radio Network.
and we are back.
We left?
We are
Oh, we left, but we're back.
back and better than ever, I'd say.
That's right. And you wouldn't even know it. What'd you say, Kyle?
Yelled at me for singing.
Yeah,
Well,
we
because
did.
We were muted.
Well, I can't mute you guys. That's
No,
that's
it's
up to you.
because we didn't want to hear you singing.
That too. All right, so time for
Kyle.
Bye, Kyle.
He's had enough.
He's gonna kill me, I think. Give me my teas.
So, I got to tell you guys, one of my favorite things about Week 1, and also one of my hated things about Week 1,
Are they the same thing?
overreactions.
But it's what we do, though.
I know, it's great and it's terrible at the exact same time.
When does an overreaction become a normal, appropriate reaction?
I believe after 3 games, it's considered a...
It gets downgraded to probable.
Yeah. Becomes a habit after like 3 games or some shit like that. I don't know. So I thought it would be fun to come up with the biggest overreactions from Week 1 and talk about them. Just your initial thoughts on watching everything. These are supposed to be a little outlandish, just so we can have a little bit of fun with them, especially if any of them become right.
Okay.
So I guess I'll start. My first... Oh, I hit a button. My first overreaction is I think that the Browns are going to the Super Bowl and they're going to face the Rams.
Wow.
And I think that at the end of the day, the Browns are only going to get better. I think it'll come down to them and the Chiefs in the wild card game, or not the wild card game, the AFC Championship game.
Yeah.
And I think the Browns edge them out, and then they face the Rams in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I think that the Browns will end up being the team to beat in the AFC. I don't have any particular reason for that.
Wait, I'm watching Kyle shake his head. What do you have to say about that, Kyle?
He can't say anything about it. It's an overreaction.
Oh, is that the rules?
I mean, he can. I just...
Browns' secondary is way too weak.
Let's have Denzel
I think, if
Ward.
anything, they've upgraded their secondary.
Yeah,
We
Kyle.
didn't show yesterday.
No, they sure didn't, but they were also playing against the Chiefs. They also lost...
You gotta beat the best to be the best.
Kyle, they almost did,
But they didn't.
but it was close.
I'm not saying the Steelers are the best, but they're not going to beat the Chiefs.
But it was close, Kyle. It's not like it was a blowout.
I'm also eating, all right?
All right. That looks good, whatever the hell it is.
Zebra cake, baby.
So that's my overreaction for Week 1. I have like a dozen of these, but what about Don't Drop the Mic? Do you have any overreactions just from watching Week 1?
I guess I kind of already mentioned it, but that there's something up with Josh Allen, and I don't know what it is. But I guess they argued. Do I just have to just dig into this take, or can I have nuance?
You can have nuance if you want to. You can do whatever you want with it.
I mean,
I guess you can literally say that Tua would be MVP and leave it at that if you wanted to.
Okay. Yeah, my guess is that the Bills are going to highly underperform this year, and I think their offense is not going to be as good as it's been. And I don't think they win the division. Yeah, I'm going to say that. They don't win the division. I think the Bills win the division. Or, sorry, the Dolphins.
I was about to say.
The Bills are going to win the division, but the Bills are going to win the division.
Hell yeah. That way I'm covering all angles. But, yeah, I don't know. I just same thing with the Browns yesterday. There's a good chance that the Bills play the Steelers in the playoffs or one of those teams, and I guess if they just didn't show up, and I just don't get it, and I don't know why they didn't put up more. They basically were pedestrian yesterday, and that's not how they should. If Josh Allen is throwing 51 times, they shouldn't be putting up 16 points, especially in that offense, and how he can play and scramble and run and throw, and I just don't get it. But I guess if I had to have a overreaction, that's what it would be.
All right. Kyle, do you have an overreaction for this week?
I do.
Tell me about it.
The Steelers are going to the Super Bowl.
Chandler Jones will have 20 sacks at the end of the year.
I wouldn't necessarily call that an overreaction.
No, I'm asking, are you saying that that's going to be not a lot for him on his pace, or that's going to be a lot?
It's a lot.
No, I know 20 is a lot, but right now he's at 5. So if you had said he'll have 30 sacks, I would have been like, yeah, that's a good overreaction.
All right. 28.
I mean, with the extra game, it's not impossible. But
imagine averaging 5 a game.
He's on pace for 85.
Can you imagine 85 sacks in season?
Now,
one person?
How are people going to judge records this year with that extra game?
I'll change it. Okay,
we'll go Kyle first.
Tyrod Taylor will lead the Texans to a divisional win. They're going to win the division.
That's a spicy meatball.
Could you say it like the commercial, though?
That's a
spicy meatball.
Perfect.
It's not that far-fetched, but they could also go 1-16 the rest of the year, and I will not be shocked.
No, either way.
But I
They
don't know.
looked bad at all yesterday.
No, they look good. I think Tyrod Taylor's not that bad. Beat Cooks.
You know, the Colts are not that great, and the Titans look absolutely atrocious. They look like they can be beaten by anybody, because they can't. Titans are an overrated team. Piping.
All right. So Chandler Jones with an absorbent number of sacks, and Titans are grossly overrated. 2 good ones. Mock, do you have any overreactions from last week or from yesterday?
Mock is making himself a meatball pizza.
I think Mock fell asleep.
All right, Kendall.
Yes. I think the Falcons will go winless this year.
They're terrible.
Ooh.
I think
become the new worst team in history.
Yeah, I think they'll go 0-17, and I'm looking at their schedule right now. Look, every dog has its day, but yesterday or this weekend they're playing the Eagles. I thought that was going to be at least competitive, and it was not at all. And you look at their schedule ahead; they're going to play Tampa Bay next. They then have the Giants, Washington, the Jets, Dolphins.
It might be the Giants.
Dolphins, Panthers, Saints, Cowboys, Patriots, Jaguars, Buccaneers, Panthers, San Fran, Lions, Buffalo, Saints.
They'll beat the Panthers once, I think. The Panthers are not.
So look,
impressive.
it's not like an impossible schedule. I mean, they're playing, I presume, a last place schedule, right? I think.
Yes.
So they're playing a last. So
no, third place.
So,
didn't the Panthers finish in last?
So third or fourth place schedule, more or less the same. We'll call it. And
no, it's fourth place because the Falcons had the 4th overall pick.
Yeah, so they're playing a last place schedule, and after seeing them play, I don't like any of their matchups.
They're missing Julio big time, but their defense is awful.
Yeah, so I think we'll have our first 0-17 team this year.
You think they're gonna win this? Well, I guess you can say what you want. It's overreaction time,
right?
But I bashed Kyle. But do you mind if we go back to what I asked before about the records thing? Like,
sure.
Are you going just off 16? Or let's say Peyton has the record for 55. If Mahomes throws 56 in 17 games, it's gonna be with an asterisk, right?
So real quick, Massey, look this up. This is not, to my knowledge, this is not the first time a 17-game season has ever happened. There's been a 17-game season
in recent history, though.
In recent enough history, in the Super Bowl era, I think there's been a 17-game season before. And perhaps more than once. I just think that they fell into a really good system for a while, and that the 16-game, 14 per division in the playoffs were as such, and then they decided they needed to make some adjustments.
Okay.
So if I'm not wrong, Massey's looking that up right now, those records have been retained even with that extra game. But I could be misremembering something, or I read something wrong.
Okay.
Can you hear me now?
I can.
Yes. Good.
You sound great.
I don't know what happened.
You sound the best I've ever heard you, Mock.
I don't know.
I was trying to add in
Divide.
that the single season records don't mean anything now. They're all going to be broken.
Yeah, within 2 weeks or within 2 years, every single one of them will be broken.
My overreaction
Yes.
is that Aaron Rodgers will be a bottom third quarterback this season.
Oh, it's spicy. That actually goes in line with one of my overreactions.
That Aaron Rodgers will talk to his family this year.
Fuck. Kendall, you are wrong.
I am wrong.
He will not talk to his family.
Kendall, there has never been a 17-game season before.
I don't know what I was reading.
But a 17-game season in backyard football.
Much
The
longer
Hocus
than
Pocus play. That was the go play.
That was a good play.
I just pulled the Hocus
Spicy
Pocus
take
play.
number 1, or spicy take number 2. Aaron Rodgers came back specifically to drive the Packers into the ground.
I was going to say, it seems like he's tanking this team. They get traded.
That was not the Aaron Rodgers we all know.
That last
We'll
pick he
find out when he
threw.
plays the Lions next week.
Yeah,
on Monday
that'll
Night
be
Football.
the litmus test.
So, I do you think if we buy into the conspiracy that he's
Yes.
there to tank the Packers, if he goes out against the Lions and throws another dud, do they sit him down and just start Love?
Yes. And I think they
They'll
panic
just
and try
trade
and trade
Yeah,
him
they'll
mid-season.
you might as well get value for him instead of letting him walk.
Now, I mean, I don't know his does he have like a no trade?
No, he has like 2 years
no.
left. He just wanted an extension. That's what he was. Oh, you mean no trade? Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
He does not have a no trade.
It's just I looked at and just the way the offseason went because we talked about this last week where Kyle was saying he's going to play with this chip and I said listen he may but it can also go the other way.
One might say Aaron Rodgers' career is in jeopardy.
Gross.
It's not the same defense is bad.
Again, he could have had just a bad game and we could all be like overreacting. But
Yes, we do.
he was also out there missing throws, bad.
Yeah.
He looked like he was a brand new, like fresh quarterback.
Yeah, he looked like a rookie.
Yeah, and this offseason, at least for him, was not like anything we've seen. I think that this whole I'm gonna prove him wrong thing. I don't. He's definitely not off to a good start with that. I don't think he's the starter the whole season.
All right,
Will be.
that's fair.
Anybody else got overreactions?
Just think of it that way too. If he is there to screw over the Packers to tank it for him, then the Packers make it so that he went from an MVP to benched within 17 weeks.
Yeah, but they'll just blame it on him though.
No,
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Is that they can go out and say, look, this fucking, he caused all this problem and now he can't even fucking perform.
Baby.
It's interesting.
I know. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird situation there, and I think he has the power because he knows almost every team, but probably a couple would take him, or would want him, because who wouldn't want him for a few years of his back nine career?
Yep.
But I mean, there's probably only literally one team that probably wouldn't want him. But I mean, maybe two. But
I mean, I think there's a few that would not pay definitely not pay the price, but would ride with the young guys that they have.
yeah, I
but
guess.
I agree that probably 2/3 of the league would jump at the chance if he became available.
Yeah.
I guess they like Seattle wouldn't go for him. I don't think Buffalo
Giants
would.
would.
Kansas City. What?
The Giants would.
But that's what I'm
yeah.
saying. Like, you're looking at teams.
I don't know. I think if Buffalo had a chance
chance.
to get Aaron Rodgers for 3 years in that window, I think that they would take it. But this is all semantics because it's whatever. But they're to definitely win now, and you got a polished veteran MVP like Aaron Rodgers, and you got him right away. That makes them automatic contenders.
But again, for what it would take to get, I think Josh Allen gives them just as much of a chance.
But if you're a sports fan, if I told you as a Giants fan you could most likely win the Super Bowl in the next 3 years, but you don't have a future, take Daniel Jones out of the situation. You don't care about the future. Maybe I'm wrong, but you care about if you can win now with Aaron Rodgers. You don't care about building your future.
I understand, but again, so do they have to trade away Josh Allen?
I hypothetically, yes, you would have to, and I think
so. That's the thing. I don't know if they would do it because I think Josh Allen can bring them a Super Bowl.
I mean, I guess you'd have to be firm on that, or you'd have to firmly believe that, but I don't know. I just say if you told the Bills right now you could have Aaron Rodgers, I think people would either lie or say yes that they would want him. Or yeah, I don't know. He makes them instant contenders.
Because the other thing to consider is Rodgers has had better teams than the Bills are right now.
Yep.
And
still didn't get it done.
You know, I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers is a bad quarterback because I don't believe that in the slightest. But it's not like he's this proven super. I mean, he's won a Super Bowl, but he should have more.
Done for me lately.
He should have more than one.
Should have. He's gotten to the championship game. I want to say,
I mean, we're about to have the debate of Brady versus Rodgers versus if he had Belichick, if he had this.
Brady is the better quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is the more talented quarterback. That's the end of that discussion. There does not need to be any more.
Yeah, I mean, if you're talking talent versus the ability to win, it's the Jordan LeBron debate. It's LeBron's a better player, but Jordan is a greater player. But yeah, I mean that's a semantic sports argument, but
right. My overreaction is that Deshaun Watson will be traded by week 6. I think that there is a team win now mode or that is nervous about what they have that's going to say, fuck it, he hasn't suspended yet, gimme.
I think the Texans already screwed themselves in a Watson trade.
I think so, but I still think that he ends up getting traded. And the worst thing is...
That's fine.
I think that he gets traded to the Dolphins.
After all that.
After all that talk, I really think that they go on for a few weeks, and they're like, Tua ain't it, dude. We have an awesome defense. This kid has so many weapons. If Tua starts performing, I think all that goes away. But if he stays at the passing 150 yards a game and passing at a 50% completion rate, then I think that they look at the option of trading for him, and I think they might do it.
But the thing is, though, are you assuming this after the legal proceedings get taken? Because I wouldn't want him on my team right now because who knows, in a year he could be in prison. And then you gave up all that stuff.
I think that the way that it would have to be structured, it hasn't happened yet, is because it would have to be, okay, we'll give you these picks. These picks are free no matter what happens, but these picks are conditioned. If something happens, we don't lose these picks. And I think that that's what a lot of the teams are working out with the Texans that are even interested and or talking to them. Because that would have to be how it goes down. But
I don't think the Texans are interested in trading him at all. Their asking price was met before the draft, and they didn't do it. We already knew what was happening. They haven't released the team, but the team offered 3 firsts and 3 thirds, and the Texans said no. No one's going to offer more than that.
No.
No one's going.
And I think that they thought they got more. And that's why he didn't make the trade. And I think that
they got the offer that they wanted, and I don't think they want to trade him. Which again, I mean, assuming that all the off the field stuff goes away, I wouldn't want to trade him either.
I wouldn't either, but you have a player that says they won't play for your team anymore?
Well, that's because they've run that organization into the ground. But
right.
I don't think they're serious about trying to trade him. They set their asking price, one team met it, and they said no.
I don't know.
What else do you do?
I still think he ends up getting traded. I think that they start getting nervous, or that they see that they like something that they have in the young kid. Maybe, I don't know. I just think that that's my overreaction. It's going to happen at some point. Some team's going to bite the bullet and say, "Fuck it."
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. You would have to, mortgage your future on a big question mark, because, like I said, if that's the biggest unknown with these GMs, is it going to be an 8, like a Kareem Hunt kind of thing? Is it going to be an 8-game, a 10-game? And they can deal with that, but it's the unknown of, will he be even?
Is he going to get fucking arrested?
Like, you could trade Tua in 5 picks, but yeah, that's great. You got Deshaun Watson, but who knows? He's going to be out for 2 years suspension, exempt list for who knows how long, in prison. Like, and then I'd be pissed as a Dolphins fan. Like, and I'm sure there's some moral conundrums too of, like, you don't want that guy in your team. Like, yeah, it's great when he scores touchdowns, but do you really want that guy if what is being accused of is true? Like, not necessarily, but when he scores on Sundays, I guess you're happy. But
I mean, you're hitting the nail. If he gets traded, I mean, I don't think it's off the table. If all this stuff comes out, and I know some are getting disproved and this and that, but say it comes out that it's all true. I mean, I don't think you're looking at 1-year suspension.
No, he'd be out of the league.
A guy that's you're banned. You're done.
Well, that was the biggest thing when this whole thing came out. They're like, oh, the Texans are doing this on purpose, so that way it lessens, or like, so that way he gets in trouble. But it's like, why would you do that? Because then it lessens his trade value, and also, like, you if he's on your team still, but he could be in prison. Like, so it's like, okay, yeah, you didn't trade for him, nobody wants him now, so you make him stay on the team. But then if he gets in trouble, he's kicked out of the league. So it's like, I immediately thought that was the dumbest argument ever. But I don't know. Yeah, it's a real big gray area question mark for him, because
absolutely. That's why it's an overreaction.
No, I'm not even saying it's not. I'm saying that's why you never have a guy 25 in his prime being available. It's literally like having LeBron James available in free agency. It's like, but there's so many GMs. I'm telling you, all these owners are probably calling up the commissioner saying, what's the deal? Like, what is the deal with Deshaun Watson? Is there going to be a year suspension? Like, well, we want to figure it out, but probably nobody knows anything because it's so ongoing of investigation. But like I said, every GM should be calling except like 2 or 3, I think. Same with Rodgers. Literally every team should take Deshaun Watson other than like the Chiefs. Every team would want him.
That's what I mean. Besides the Chiefs, the Seahawks, the Bills.
I think the Seahawks would take Deshaun Watson.
I don't.
I would take Deshaun Watson. He's younger, and he's. I think he's a little bit better than Russell Wilson.
Don't you dare say he's better.
I think he is.
I'll fucking shoot you.
Okay.
I can't get behind that.
I'll shoot you. Listen, that was an incriminating
There's no way, any way, shape, or form that Deshaun Watson has shown me that he's a better player than Russell Wilson.
I wouldn't say
Mock
any way,
says
shape,
it
or form.
week in and week out. The Seahawks would be a 2 and what is it now?
37.
15?
37.
Mark, we said the same number.
The Seahawks would be a 2-37 team without Russell Wilson. The Texans teams that Deshaun Watson played for were talented.
Okay.
Russell Wilson has made Super Bowl champions out of nothing.
Legion of Boom, but yes.
I said on offense. Defense can do great. If you can't fucking score points, though. Who can you name me a receiver that he had prior to Tyler Lockett?
Golden Tate, Jermaine Kearse.
Very good.
Not Josh Gordon.
Doug Baldwin.
Besides Golden Tate, has anybody that he's thrown to?
Doug Baldwin, yes, Doug Baldwin.
But he was a Seahawk his entire career, which was...
Well, see, I'm not being sarcastic here, but it's just going to be one of those things where we're going to list you all these players, and then you're just going to, just find a reason as to why they're not great.
That's fair. Anyways, Russell Wilson's played with less talent in his career than Deshaun Watson has, and Russell has made the most out of it.
I guess I would argue, other than DeAndre Hopkins, I mean, I guess he didn't play with Andre Johnson, so...
No.
I mean, Hopkins, I guess, but, I mean, Wilson's had Metcalf for the last 2 years. And Watson only had Hopkins for a couple of years. Watson's only been in the league 4 or 5 years.
But
So
he had him all those years.
I wouldn't say Hopkins has been out of the Texans for 2 years now, and this is Watson's fifth year in the league. So he only had him for.
Has it been 2 years already?
Watson
This
got drafted
is
in
the second year.
2017, maybe.
Okay, so he didn't have him last year.
So I know it is a hair splitting argument. I'm saying if I was my team right now had choice between Russell Wilson and Deshaun Watson, anything, I would take Deshaun Watson.
So I think I see where you're going. So you're saying if you were starting a franchise,
I'm just saying
if
you would be absolutely shocked if you found out the Seahawks traded Russell Wilson for Deshaun Watson, barring any legal problems.
Yes,
I
would not be at all.
I will say I agree with you saying say tomorrow there's a fucking expansion team in Nashville that gets to pick between Watson and Wilson.
They're taking up residence with the fucking Titans.
I say you're describing the Titans.
Then that side I could get behind.
The Chiefs are the only team in the league
think-
that would not want Deshaun Watson, in my opinion.
All right, so here's my argument taking this into it. Say it was the expansion draft. I'm agreeing with Mock there. If you're talking specifically the Seahawks and everything that they've accomplished with Wilson over the last 10 years, no, I'm still not trading for him. I've seen Russell win me a championship, will me to another one, bring me to the playoffs kicking and screaming every fucking year.
Okay.
And
I guess maybe in the back of my...
I think
Go ahead.
I think it being how long those two have been together, like how long Wilson's been there, weighs in a lot on what I think the decision would be. It would be like, wow, there's no real good examples anymore now.
I mean, it would be like getting rid of Rodgers like 5 years
Rodgers,
ago.
But that happened.
Yes. I mean, well...
Right. Okay, there you go. Yes.
No, I know. And I think part of the reason in the back of my subconscious mind of this argument is that I realize that Deshaun Watson is 7 years younger than Russell Wilson. And I get it. I love Russell Wilson. He's a top 5 quarterback in the league. I'm just saying if there was an ability to get Deshaun Watson, but this is all also contingent upon all the legal stuff. But if it was Wilson and a couple first rounders, I would not blame the Seahawks at all if they did that at all. It's just, I wouldn't, because Watson would be the best quarterback in that division, and Wilson is probably the best quarterback in that division, maybe behind Kyler, but Wilson's still ahead of him. But still, I mean, it's Deshaun Watson. It's 25-year-old LeBron James of his sport in his prime available, but now it's not because obviously other things, but I don't know. It's just a splitting hairs argument at this point. We're kind of arguing for the sake of it, I guess. But
I feel, I think neither of us are going to really change our minds, but we're not disagreeing with the other person.
No, I know. But what were we talking about before this?
Kyle, you got any more overreactions? Souls? All right.
Kyle Souls, say words out of your mouth.
So what was the question?
Do you have any more overreactions?
No.
Anybody else?
Go ahead, Kendall.
No, I think that's what I got for now. I figured we'd move on to our next
All right.
topic.
Sounds Gucci.
All right. I've always liked the idea of this, and I think I kind of want to finally implement it. I like the idea of each of us picking out a offensive play of the week and defensive play of the week that kind of really stood out to us. And we just post them on our media, just like what we enjoyed about the play and stuff like that. I will start it off with a catch that Terry McLaurin had.
You son of a bitch.
On the sideline.
I should go first. All right, go ahead.
Terry McLaurin at one point was horizontal with the ground, adjusting his body and his head to make a catch on the sidelines. And I think it was over Derwin James. It was the most impressive catch I've seen in years. And I've just never seen a wide receiver move his body that way. That was literally like the Matrix in slow motion. It was hysterical. But, Mark, I'll send you a gif of that.
Jeff.
Kyle, what was your play of the week?
Deontay Johnson's tip touchdown catch.
Back corner of the end zone? That was a pretty good catch.
And plus, it was meaningful.
Yes, that was a turning point of the game.
Yep. It put the Steelers ahead, and they kept it rolling after that.
Just enough to keep their sales for them to win that game.
Yep. And we should have the other one.
Oh, Daniel Jones rushing that touchdown in for the last play of the game is really cool. Fuck him. I tell you, that might be the only time I motherfucked the Giants scoring a touchdown. I was so pissed. Because what really got me is I'm like, now someone's going to look at his stat line and be like, oh, he had a pretty decent game. Fuck him.
The garbage of garbage time.
Made me so mad.
In that particular...
I can tell.
I did like the 70, what was it, like 70 or 75-yard touchdown pass, Russell Wilson to Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, that was going to be my other one if I didn't get to
it.
it.
On a fucking dime. It's unbelievable.
I fucking hate him. I respect him.
Our previous argument would have said differently.
Again, respect is a big factor.
Yes, I know.
I fucking hate playing against him.
I'm gonna go with the runaround Kyler Murray throw that he had, where he was like bobbing around, pirouetting, and then he like jumped through it to somebody, and I was like, "Good God! Did anybody see Kyler Murray warming up without a helmet? He looked fat.
No,
he had a chubby face.
But
Go ahead.
Kyler always just looks like a fucking Cabbage Patch doll.
Yeah, he looks weird now, and he just got a little chubbier in the face, like whatever. I mean, I'm not exactly thin over here, but I'm not an NFL quarterback. But I mean, it certainly paid off for him. He had that one throw too to Kirk where he threw it with both feet off the ground. He jumped through it, and that
off his back foot.
But I'm curious, kind of like with a lot of these younger quarterbacks, is kind of like a Russell Westbrook thing, where it's like, how's that game going to age? It's like you can do the flashy stuff with the young energy, but at some point the game is going to age. And we see it like with Westbrook now, where he has to settle for jump shots and he's bricking everything. He can't drive and powerhouse it down anymore, and it's just going to be weird to see the game age. So it's like, I mean, RG3 was different because RG3 was smaller in my opinion, and he didn't have the. I mean, I know Murray's small, but like he just seems to have it better. But I'm just curious how these guys can evolve in the game, because all the older quarterbacks now are the pocket ones, the Rodgers, Breeze, Brady. So I'm curious what's going to happen, what Lamar Jackson looks like in 10 years.
Listen, you got to Tim Wakefield it, man. When it starts falling apart, you learn a knuckleball, play another 25 years.
Honestly, like that's how you keep it going. But yeah, I mean, Tyler was on a different freaking level yesterday. It was insane what he did.
He was.
I don't think we're going to see a lot of quarterbacks have 20-year careers anymore.
I mean, Brady's just the biggest anomaly there is, and I don't think he's human.
The Brady, Eli, Peyton, Aaron, like I think those guys are going to fall off. Even these guys coming up, that they call them pocket passers, but they all move. Mahomes runs.
Yeah, but that's the thing, though, is like, other than Mahomes, though, but like, everyone says that they're like the quarterback of the future, but you look at the last 20-something Super Bowls, it's all the Bradys, the Mannings, the Roethlisbergers. So it's like they're the ones who win. It's like, yeah, you get the fun flash in the pan of Lamar and Allen and those guys, but they're not the ones winning.
But I think the tide's going to turn, because, I mean, eventually those guys are going.
Well, eventually a lot of teams is going to be that quarterback, that's going to be the next evolution of the team. It's like everyone, like if you plop Kevin Durant in the NBA 30 years ago, it'd be like, what the fuck is this extraterrestrial? But eventually in 10 years, everyone's going to look like, can you imagine if you plopped Kevin Durant in Bill Russell's time? They'd be like, why is that 7-foot center shooting the ball from my way out there? It's like, but everyone's going to look like him and Giannis in the next 15 years, because that's how just athletes are evolving.
Exactly.
So it's like, that is what quarterbacks are going to eventually end up being, is no longer the pocket passer. But for now, I still think that they have a stronghold on the ability to win games, because sometimes being in the pocket is better than just scrambling around.
So
I think that's fair.
In looking at it real quick, I'm just going back through the past couple of years, because I immediately thought of Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is not a mobile quarterback. That's not his game, I guess I should say. He can move, like, if he has to on a quick bootleg, but he is a pocket passer.
To me, it's kind of like a Mahomes, where it's like I wouldn't consider Mahomes a mobile quarterback, but he is young enough and has enough spry legs where he can be, where he is mobile enough. But I think he still wants to be a pocket passer. On Kendall, what
Okay, real quick, Kyle's got to run. Kyle, rest up. We'll see you next time.
Bye, Kyle.
Bye, bud.
Pleasure to see you again, buddy. Feel better. I mean that. I know you don't think I do. He's like, fuck you.
Oh, hey, guys. Mostert's on the IR.
Yeah, 8 weeks,
Yeah,
they said,
8
right?
weeks.
Damn, I literally was tossing
Fucking-
between him and somebody else, and I went with somebody else, thank God. And my friend was like,
Yeah,
well,
guess what? I went with Raheem Mostert in my paid league.
Raheem
Hey,
Mostert.
Did anyone see George Lopez at this game?
Yeah, he looks like George Lopez.
Yeah.
He
He looks
pretty
old.
terrible.
Yeah.
Dana White
He
was
looks
there.
like a worse version of Mickey Rourke.
One too many empanadas.
Ah.
I forgot Marcus Mariota was on the Raiders. Ugh.
Kendall, what was your offensive play of the week?
Mine's gonna go to the Chiefs, that 75-yard touchdown.
Chiefs.
It's Mahomes
Chiefs.
to Mahomes
He said
rolling out to his right, like about to go out of bounds, just trucks it haphazardly into the middle of the field. Hill reverses, and beats the corner, catches it, and then it's off to the races. It's such a Mahomes play. It's like the most ridiculous form of being a quarterback, and he does it with ease. Every year there's something like that.
The easiest of ease.
And I'm sure there's more of it to come.
You sure of that?
Knock on whatever here.
Honorable mention, Teddy Bridgewater threw a pass yesterday that I looked at him and said, that's going to get you cut. And then I saw the results of it, and I said, that's going to get you a fat contract. He scrambled to the right and was throwing across his chest off his back foot
Oh, I remember
to
that
the
play.
middle of the field.
I was at that game. By the way.
And I just looked and I said, that's going to be picked off for 6.
Yeah.
And then he somehow fit it into the hands of...
Was it Fant?
No, it wasn't Fant. It was
Patrick.
Pierce.
Oh,
No.
Tim.
The guy that dropped the touchdown.
Yeah, what's his name?
Hamler?
Hamler. Yeah, KJ Hamler. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
It was
pissed when he dropped
KJ
that ball.
Hamler.
I looked like an idiot at MetLife because I stood up when the ball was in the air. I was like, "Let's go!" And then
You
he dropped
should've.
it.
That hit him in the
I was
fucking
like,
hands.
"Pay me!" Oh, Josh Jacobs is hurt. Fucking idiot.
Yes, he is. But
Is that Willie
that
Snead?
play was the one that just, it may not have been the most splashy play, the
Splash.
most big impact. It was just a play that made me literally go, "What the fuck? What the fuck?"
Hey,
What
real
the
quick,
fuck?
Does anyone know if that was a third down?
That
was the third
throw, no, I don't think so. Because they had another play after that, and they got
Wasn't
a
it?
first down. I think it was a second down to make it a third down. I can look it up
okay.
though. Yeah, because
No,
they didn't
I'm
punt.
talking about when
The
he
Broncos,
threw-
I don't think
when he-
punted at all.
They had one towards the end.
Oh, really?
That was cool. But
That was
no,
cool,
I'm
and
talking
then
about
Jones
when
ran
he
it in.
Threw like across his body, across the field there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Was that a third down?
I think
Oh
so.
yeah, no, it was. I remember because everyone was loud because they're like, "It's third down, get loud," and then they threw it, and everyone was like, "Ah."
And that's the thing. The Giants will give up the long third down.
You're not wrong.
They'll just keep doing it for as long as they've fucking been alive.
Wait,
You
no,
know,
I got
Mark,
it right here.
I do not mean to add to the pain. It's just so funny that you say that, because one of my favorite plays of the McVay Rams was the year we went to the Super Bowl, I think.
We're going to the Super Bowl.
We were in MetLife, and we got down to a 3rd and 33 situation.
Yep.
And
I remember.
I remember the announcer saying on TV, "Oh, there's no play you draw up for 3rd and 33." Fucking Robert Woods goes the distance 60 yards for a touchdown on it.
I'm telling you, for as long as I've watched the Giants play, if it's more than like a 3rd and 7, just give them the first down. They're
Yeah.
gonna get it.
I was
They're gonna
shocked that the Broncos were able to convert so much. But yeah, I looked up that play. It was a 3rd and 5, and there was 2 times that the Teddy should have gone down on a sack. He stayed literally a foot from the sideline. He threw it, and Hamler just came out of nowhere.
There had to have been. I mean, if I had to guess, I think there was 5 missed sacks in that game.
Yeah,
To a point
Teddy.
where they got a hand on Bridgewater and just couldn't complete the tackle.
And there was that one where the touchdown that the guy could have possibly been out of bounds, but where it was 4th and 2, and I was actually on the other side of the field, but and he got it, and I was like, "There's no way this play develops." And then he caught it. I was like, "Holy shit!" And then everyone was going crazy when they didn't reverse it, but there was enough evidence.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's one of those whatever call was on the field.
Can I go back?
No.
Go back to the overreactions real quick.
No,
I thought of one that I forgot
skipped
to
it.
say.
Yes, go ahead.
Justin Fields is going to be the offensive rookie of the year.
O'Roy? The O'Roy? O'Roy?
He's going to be the O'Roy.
O'Roy?
Justin Fields will be the offensive
Chicago
rookie
Bears.
of the year.
I mean,
That's enough of
when's
me.
he gonna start?
I don't think it matters. I think he starts 3, 4, maybe 5 games into the
when
season.
O'Roy's
All
the
right.
backup.
Hill's
When's he going to start? I don't know if he will, but he's winning O'Roy, baby.
That's right. I mean, if he starts like week 8, I don't,
I think even if he starts in week 8, he'll be.
We
good
want to
enough
read his stats.
win offensive rookie of the year.
He's 4 for 7 with a touchdown, rushing
Dude,
for
he was in for 5 plays last night.
I know you got
And
this
he
redhead,
was
but this guy over
3
here.
He was in for 5 plays last night, and he had 3
I
of
don't
the
know.
5 biggest plays.
Splash. Well, that was like Trey Lance. Trey Lance had that nice play, a little gadget play, and then they're like, nope, Jimmy Garoppolo is back in. That's my contribution of the Niners.
I lost $5 on that bet. I'm still very upset.
Oh, you want to hear about a bad beat I fucking had? Thanks, Aaron Rodgers. I had a nice 16 parlay yesterday. Or six. I had the fucking Chargers money line, won that. Lions +9, which I thought I lost until they came back and they only lost by 8.
Vegas never loses.
I had the Chiefs money line. I had the Rams money line, and I had the Packers money line. $20 to win $600, and the Packers are the ones that fucked me. I was pissed. Once that Lions one came back, I'm like, let's go.
I'm on.
I was so mad. I'm like, oh, fucking Rodgers, man. He owes me money.
You should tweet him.
He'll be like, yeah, whatever. Hates me.
Um,
Talk to your family. You loser.
I think that Justin Fields starts maybe 6 to 8 weeks in and just fucking goes off.
And there's no like minimum for getting O'Roy or any Roy or any Oi.
No, it's
I don't believe
stat
so.
based entirely. I mean,
some
Yeah.
Ben Simmons won Rookie of the Year like 3 years in a row.
pretty much.
Kyle's mad. We're talking about the Sixers. They're like, yeah, he qualifies as a rookie again.
All right. Defensive plays of the week.
I want to go first.
Okay.
That TJ Watt sack, he was ruthless on that. That
You
strip sack.
motherfucker.
That's why I wanted to go first. I was going to do Chandler Jones, but that's boring.
Well,
Well,
5 sacks.
plays. Yeah, no, TJ Watt is just, he's definitely top 5 guys, unstoppable guys in the league. I mean, he's in the Donald, Miles Garrett, fucking, why can't I think right now?
OCU Manura.
No, not OCU Manura. That was funny. Shit. Who's another? Garrett. Chandler Jones. Yeah. Jones, Garrett, Donald, and TJ Watt are like top 4 unstoppable guys in the D line. But yeah, that was insane. He was just like, I'm coming for you, Josh Allen, and I'm going to strip that fucking ball.
What's the stat, Mark?
It just came up. Daniel Jones has 40 turnovers in 28 career games.
I wasn't going to say that.
That's the second
awful
fewest amount of games to reach 40 turnovers in NFL history.
My
You
God.
guys know who holds the record?
Who?
Let me guess. Eli?
Peyton.
Nope.
Peyton.
Current quarterback or retired?
He's out of the league. It's a good name.
Wait, hold on. A guy who could be in the league but is out, or he's retired.
No, he's out. He's from a while back.
Okay, that answers my question. From the 90s?
No.
2000s?
Yes.
Donovan McNabb?
Nope.
Michael Vick?
Nope.
Mark Sanchez.
You're closer. Kind of.
Chad Pennington?
Geographically?
Or
name wise?
Mark Rex Strossman. I couldn't think. Mark. Oh shit. Mark.
Come on, Kendall. It's a good name.
So his first name is Mark Bolger.
Mark Bolger.
Oh, why couldn't I think of Mark Bolger?
That's awesome.
I was too busy laughing.
I couldn't say a last name fast enough. Is Batista doing everything now?
Yeah, actually, Dave
Yes.
Bautista's the new Rock. I don't know if you
No,
know
it's
that.
like the fake John Cena. Dave Bautista. You
It's
okay
like-
with their mask?
No.
Except you know
Kendall?
how the Rock and Kevin Hart are paired up in so many things. It's going to be Dave Bautista and Aziz Ansari, and this will be like the same type of movies.
Oh my God. You like blue that
And they're just going to be just
Nothing
that
would make me
much
angry.
worse. My defensive play. It's a homer pick, and it's also a special teams play in the Steelers' blocked punt
Yeah.
against
man.
Buffalo. I mean, not just because, if it was any team, I would have picked the block punt for a touchdown because that's always fun.
It's a little kerfuffle on the field. It's a little funness.
Yeah, exactly. And he was,
No, I don't know.
well, I mean, watch a game.
Oh, it's Carl Nassib.
Great.
All right.
I believe my defensive play will be the Browns player pushing the Chiefs coach.
But didn't the coach touch him first, though? I'm being serious.
Honestly, I'm not sure.
Everyone, like Romo and Jim Nantz were, like, clutching their pearls, but it's like the coach pushed him first, but, like,
He did.
everyone, all anybody sees is big, scary football player pushing authority figure.
Right. I mean,
That was a
thought-
pretty cool sentence.
It's
though.
the bias narrative.
They're up there clutching their pearls.
Well, that was like when fucking Randy Moss mooned Lambeau and Joe Buck was like, "This is an abomination."
I still remember that. I'm watching that game live.
I can't believe it.
Like, that's disgusting.
A disgusting
Yeah.
act
It's like,
by
"Hey,
Randy
Joe."
Moss.
That's
It's like,
funny.
all right, like whatever.
Tone it
but-
down a notch, guy.
Yeah.
Well, it was like when Odell did like the peeing on the upright thing, and everyone got all butthurt.
Oh yeah, I
The
remember that.
fucking
Dude.
dog leg.
Yeah, I
I
remember that.
thought it was kind of funny.
That's
I
funny.
mean, it wasn't like that bad.
The NFL needs celebrations.
No taunting penalties.
Oh my
I
god.
mean, Marshawn Lynch would jump into the end zone holding his crotch.
Did he get flagged for that?
I don't know. Maybe it
Yeah.
was
I
like
think
half and half.
he
That
got
would be
he got
taunting.
fined for that afterwards. I think. Here goes
I think he might be like my favorite non-giant player of our generation.
Marshawn.
Yeah,
I mean, just
I
I'm
can watch interviews with him
oh,
forever.
so good.
Let's see. Was that during the NFC Championship game?
Oh, he did it many times. That was like for a while. Like that was like he's scoring a touchdown. Yeah, this is how he's doing it.
Like, hey, check this out.
There's probably like a video, like compilation of him doing that.
He's been fined.
10,000
He was fined
times.
he was fined the first time $11,000.
Oh, absolutely. Sorry.
And the second time was 20 grand.
Well, no, I just watched the replay of that player getting ejected. The coach shoved the Browns player.
Yeah.
So I do
Sure.
not feel bad for that coach at all, and I think he
No,
should
not
be
in the
ejected.
slightest.
Yeah, sorry, I just want to get my dose sense in.
You can only have un peso.
Like 1,000 pesos.
My defensive play of the week.
Your D-poi.
He's gonna play 2
You
games.
hit.
I like my acronyms. All right, Mass, you were
God,
saying
please
before
fucking read 'em.
I had
My defensive play of the week is from the what?
I just laugh at him.
Sorry.
We're delayed in the Rams game, but they just showed a sack, and then they cut to the crowd, and there's a guy wearing a Juju jersey. He's showing his jersey.
And the
Yeah.
Ravens got
He's
sacked.
like, yeah, man.
All right, Mass, you were saying before you interrupted?
Was in the Philly Atlanta game. Brandon Graham came through the hole and hit Mike Davis so goddamn hard, he must have knocked him back like 4
I
yards.
mean, yes, Mike Davis, I mean, come on. Hang him up.
But this was early in the game. This was like maybe the beginning of the second quarter or just at the end of the first quarter. It set the fucking tone. It was like he came and fucking hit him like Steve Atwater hit Christian Okoye. He fucking rocked him.
Did you say Dave Coulier?
Oh, come on, guys. Cut it out.
Kendall, I thought you would appreciate some of those names.
Yes.
Do you even know who they are? You don't like football, Kendall.
Dave Coulier is?
I know that. I mean, Brandon Graham. I mean, they always talk about how he's this undersized.
Atwater and Okoye, not Brandon Graham.
Oh, Steve Atwater.
Steve Atwater.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Steve Atwater.
Steve Atwater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Kendall.
Yes.
Would you let us give you Lamar Jackson's hairstyle?
I don't know if I have the hair for it.
You'd have to grow it out. Can you grow your hair out?
I've been trying.
No, you haven't.
I have.
You're the rat of a red bear.
That's his hair after 2 years.
My last haircut, I got a buzz cut for Massey's wedding, and that was the Clinton. It was July 10th. Is that right,
Kendall
Mass?
didn't even get his haircut for his own wedding.
And this is
July 9th.
So this is my hair since that date. This is all it's done. And I've been trying to grow a mullet for Mock's wedding, and it's not going to happen.
Yeah, Mock, I'm going to your stag, I think.
Kendall, I know somebody who can give you implants.
I don't want to. I want to be all natural.
What kind of implants?
No. You could use a new pair of breasts.
Oh, well. I don't need that weight.
You'd probably get fired from work.
Maybe. Especially when I come in topless.
Oh, yes. Hey, Marnie.
You can't censor me.
Free the nipple.
Yeah.
Speaking
you here to pick up your tickets?
Speaking of free the nipple, Mock, how's your stag looking?
Looks good.
Nice. It's at the VFW in Naga Prospect, Cheshire.
That's right.
It's somewhere in Naga Prospect.
It's the VFW of Prospect in Naugatuck, but also in Cheshire.
Right.
On
Sponsored by Port Chester.
Can we take the helicopter off the roof of that building and fly it? I could see Kendall as a helicopter pilot with the headphones on.
Just fucking Zone playing in the background.
Fortunate Son by CCR.
I heard some disrespect from Mock. I didn't hear what he said, though. I just knew that it was unsavory.
I didn't even hear it either, but I kind of wanted to know.
I do like the... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead and say this.
I do like the idea of a matinee stag, though. A little 11 to 5 action.
That's what Massey's was, that, too.
Yeah.
It was the way it worked out because we were trying to time it for when my dad's going to be here. And I kept thinking, I was like, it's the middle of October. It can be cold, so I was like, I'd rather not be outside when it's fucking cold out in the dark.
He's not wrong.
Well, it's better for peeing outside, though, which is pretty much what I do exclusively. I just have to make do.
It's just one of those where, it's going to end at 5, and either we're going to sleep in Kyle's garage or end up somewhere else.
Yeah.
Also, Gruden has a really red neck.
Does he?
He's got one of those indoor sunburns.
At what point does he get fired?
Never.
He won't.
He will not.
He's not a good coach.
He's not
like $70 million on that contract.
Yeah.
Al Davis is not.
Mayak also isn't a good GM, but Mayak's actually going to get fired. Gruden will write out his next 2 GM.
Mike Mayak was the GM of the Raiders.
So you think that if they don't make the fucking playoffs, like he's going to get the full 10 years out of that deal?
I don't think so. I don't see Al or Mark Davis.
Mike Davis.
Mark Davis. Mike Davis.
Mike Davis.
Mike Davis.
Mike Davis now owns the Raiders.
Dave Coulier.
There we go.
That's a callback, as they say, because that was something we said earlier. We're calling back to it. Get it, guys?
That's right.
I was at the Giants game.
Yes, we got it. Anyways.
Big pickup there.
I just don't think that they get rid of him because it's just there's too much money invested in him, and I think
It's all guaranteed.
I think the Raiders are just more of into a spectacle kind of thing, or just being like, oh, we're fun, we got Gruden, blah blah, or New Vegas now. I don't know. I don't know. They're stupid.
Yeah, Chucky got old after year 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, that was such a big deal, so much money on the table. It's like
it's just a weird thing. Like if the team just consistently doesn't do anything, that you're just gonna let him hang around for 10 years. I mean, he's not Marvin Lewis.
No, I know.
Where is Marvin Lewis now?
I believe Krispy Kreme Donut.
He's still the Bengals head coach.
He's the
silent
guy
partner.
in that commercial selling the wet teddy bears.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Shout out to Liberty Mutual, not a sponsor.
Could be.
If you want to invest, you see some vulgar
I'm
stuff here.
surprised Kyle didn't want to talk about TJ Watt getting paid.
Yeah.
I
wasn't talking today.
Did anybody see the Washington fans that got poop dumped on them at the game?
Yes.
I saw the broken pipe. That's pretty funny.
Is that shit? That's shit.
That's my toast of excellence, actually.
Marvin Lewis was the Bengals
Really?
head coach
I
for
tell you what,
16 years.
I would take a little poop water if it meant I got season tickets.
Yeah.
To the football team, though, or to the
Or-
Giants?
I mean, you should.
Well, I mean to the Giants, but
I mean, you should see how.
take a little,
Hold on.
I'll take a little fecal water.
Wait, hold on. Would you take nosebleeds one time getting shit on, or every time you got shit on, you got to move up a section? And you had to sit the entire game with the fecal matter. You couldn't go home and change before.
I could handle it if it just led to season tickets. I mean, I can't have it happen every time I go.
So you wanted just nosebleeds one time, get it over with week 1?
Yeah, I could do that.
All right. Parking pass, though?
I mean, that would be a nice additive, because, I mean, I am covered in poop water.
I mean, so that's my thing. I think for that, I mean, I think you're getting a little bit better than nosebleeds. Not great, but I think you're getting better than nosebleeds.
Piss, you get nosebleeds. Shit, you move up a section.
All right, so here's what I'm going to say. You should see how I unclog a toilet.
I would
so
love to say it. Let's go do it right now.
There's
Kendall.
nothing that I'm really worried about in that realm.
I've never been more worried about something than that.
So it's just like, for me, if that happened to me, like, hey, bring it on. I'll take whatever you can give me.
I'll really relish in it.
Yeah, exactly.
We have got very sidetracked here.
Yeah, I don't think we need to expand on that much further, unless you want to.
I really, really don't. It's no offense to you, Kendall. I just...
No, none taken. I'm just letting you know. Don't be afraid.
So, Bach, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, and I feel really bad because it's shitting on the Giants again. But I wanted to say it earlier.
Poop water.
And I don't want to. I don't want to pile on the Giants, but I thought this was terrible. Let's see where to go.
Tired, Kendall.
The Giants have had 0 weeks with a winning record since 2017.
That's a brutal stat.
Well,
wait, so they always lose week 1 in the last 5 years?
Yes.
They haven't had a winning record. Where's Ben McAdoo was there? Love Ben McAdoo.
I'd prefer if we didn't say that name.
Benjamin McAdoo.
Is he? He's on a roster, right? I think he's coaching somewhere.
No.
I hope to God not.
He was a assistant somewhere, I think, with the Browns.
Fumble Rooster.
Ben McAdoo is a consultant for the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, no wonder.
Oh, that's right.
Ben, what should we do? Go with the baloney this week.
Right. I mean, what does he do? Like, okay, hey, this is where we're going to dump the poop water on the fans.
God, what a McCarthy and McAdoo.
Last year, he was the quarterbacks coach of the Jaguars.
That's a fumble roosty. Sorry, he was a quarterbacks coach. So they had Doug Marrone and Ben McAdoo. God, can you get older and whiter?
I mean, that's where McAdoo came from. He was the Packers quarterback coach. And then he was the Giants coordinator.
We learned that just like fucking Adam Gase, somebody was riding the coattails of a Hall
Adam
of Fame
Gase can't have a job, can he?
I don't know.
Who?
Awful. Adam Gase. He cannot have a job.
He shouldn't have a job.
That's one weird dude. Everything.
I don't think he's currently employed anywhere. Hold on.
following with his bug eyes.
He's also a consultant with the Cowboys.
He's Ben McAdoo's consultant.
Yeah, they're roommates, actually.
He's Ben McAdoo's assistant.
Yeah. I love your hair, man.
Anything else, Mr. McAdoo? Yes. Mayo on the side this time, please. Fuck. All right.
What was that?
I don't know. I just said fuck. Poop water.
Very exciting.
Watch the Giants game.
Adam Gase currently does not have a job.
Darn.
I hope he's poor.
He probably spent all his money on cocaine. Have you seen his eyes?
Yes. I don't think he's seen his eyes. He hasn't blinked in 3 years.
I like that jab.
Mike Tomlin doesn't blink.
Mike Tomlin's a scary motherfucker.
Splash. Ham bone.
Always an excellent press conference, with him.
But the podcast I listened to, they did NFL coaches that would make the best pilots, and they said Mike Tomlin would be the best looking pilot. Like, he just fits the part, and I agree.
Yeah.
Remember, Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll would be a good pilot, too. He says hi to all the moms and the kids. He gives them lollipops. He'd be a great pilot.
Yeah.
They would be great together.
He's got a killer crooked nose. I mean, he's got it all.
Or flight attendants. Robert Saleh, the Jets head coach, would be a good flight attendant. Walk up and down with a drink cart. He'd be perfect. A little sweater vest. Oh.
Sean McVay would actually be
McVay would be a
pretty
great
good
pilot, yes.
Yeah.
Or even flight attendant. He could do the little instructions with the
Yep.
fingers. Oh, he's
I wonder if there's like a simulator online, like NFL head coach pilot simulator. And
in the movie fucking Sully, where they had the simulator where it crashed. Like, they just do that with the head coaches. Yeah. But yeah, Tomlin would definitely be a good pilot. Just no time for bullshit.
Throw on those aviators.
I can see that. What would Belichick be?
Belichick would be a terrible pilot.
He'd be the guy who pours poop water on everybody.
Yeah. He'd be the guy that just has stale peanuts for everybody and gives you Fresca.
No, Belichick would be a great pilot. We're on to Cincinnati.
Yeah. Thank you for coming in, and we're just thank you for it's 73 degrees here. Yeah, that's about it.
Browns week 1.
Yeah, Pete Carroll was one. Tomlin was good. I feel like all those young coaches like not Stefanski, or just him or Kingsbury, or LaFleur, like those guys would be good flight attendants. We digress. I digress, and I brought you down into digression.
That's right.
Digression?
Yeah, I think digression is
dichotomy or dichotomy or
Hey,
definitely not that.
So I know what we can do for the last 10-ish minutes. Hold on.
All right. Take a 9-minute break.
Quick 9-minute break.
Is that a duck?
He was kind of duckish.
All right, so let's go ahead and continue on with our overreactions. A little bit. Who do we think Offensive Player of the Year is after Week 1?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry, I was looking at my phone. Who's the what?
Offensive Player of the Year after Week 1.
Kyler Murray.
Will go on to win it.
Yeah, my gut was going to be Kyler Murray right off the bat. As soon as you said it,
that I think can sustain, or just based on Week 1, because obviously Jameis, but I don't think he sustains that, obviously, and nor do I think Murray throws 5 tutties. But I mean,
you have to only base it off Week 1. I mean, it's
no, but
I'm
going off of projection of what I think. Like Jameis was a flash in the pan, whereas Murray can definitely
you just don't have a lot to go off.
Can definitely throw.
I mean, the difference, too, is just the stats alone. Like, yeah, Jameis had a great day, but we're talking 5 touchdowns and 138 yards. Murray threw and rushed around for, X amount more. Wow. So I think that would be a good pick.
Mock?
Yeah, Mock, you haven't talked to him. I'll talk, buddy.
Listen, Daniel Jones is going to really bounce back.
Just get the Giants out of here and just let it go. Season's over.
Do it.
It's tough.
I think Luan would be a good pick too.
Taylor Lewin.
Yeah, I mean, he found a way to give up 5 sacks.
Tyron Luan.
Yeah.
He only gave up 4 of those.
And then be really upfront about it. How
it
was his fault?
He had a tough matchup back from a torn ACL, or what did he have last year? Was it ACL? Or whatever he had.
Like that.
Yeah, he was. I mean, it's kind of like the same thing with Barkley. It's a mental thing. You're going up against top 3 edge rusher in the league. You're going to be like, fuck, it's on me today. And then he sucked, and he admitted it. But obviously, you have to admit it because everyone knows it was on you. You didn't block him.
Whoops.
Yeah, guys, it wasn't my fault. But yeah, I mean, it's going to take some time for him to get back to it because it's his first full game back from that lower leg injury. So we'll see. But I don't know. I said Murray. All right, I said Murray. That's my guy.
I think it's going to be Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson, Mr. Unlimited.
I think this is the year that he finally has enough talent around him that they're going to score a gajillion points. They'll win enough games for him to get it and make it to the playoffs. I don't think that they really make it super far because of their defense. But I think Wilson's going to be having to either play from behind or just keep his foot on the gas the entire game. He's just, even if it's padding stats, he's going to put up a bajillion points this year.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because remember last year, Wilson had that great stretch to start the year, like, oh, this is finally his year for MVP,
and then completely fell off.
Right. It's like, I don't know, is that kind of just his MO? Like he can be good and awesome until he's not.
That is his MO right now. But I think he finally has the talent on offense. It's also dependent on injuries because that's hurt them a lot over the years. But if they can sustain anything close to what they put up yesterday, I think this is his year.
Who are we talking about?
Russ Wilson.
Oh, yes, Sussel.
What are you giggling at over there?
Kellen and I are doing our own show here.
He texted. I texted him like, pick an offensive and defensive player of the week when you told me to. Like a minute ago, he texted me, pick an offensive and defensive player of the week.
I'm just doing anything to distract Kendall, but like I said, we're doing our own I show over here where we're laughing at not you, just I'm laughing at Kendall and not
right. It's very flirtatious actually.
Yes. Rebecca's not here. I got to do what I can to lay some groundwork.
It's just he and I here in studio.
Yes. Turn the cameras off.
Right.
Yes, with Jay Cutler. John Durden's watching.
Gruden Cam.
Chucky's always watching.
Yes.
Right. Defensive player of the year?
Well, I mean, Chandler Jones.
Chandler Jones had a big year or a big day.
I'm going Blake Martinez.
Wow.
He was everywhere yesterday. It was insane. All right.
Blake Martinez isn't a bad pick. I was going to go with Patrick Surtain, but
Curtan. Close the curtains.
Surtain.
Whatever. That's what you say to like a pale person.
Patrick
Surtain.
Surtain. Yeah.
Surtain. He's Surtain.
So stupid.
Bringing to a nice, strong finish here and getting exposed to the drunk.
Slowly but surely.
What?
Oh my god.
No, just ball breaking.
Well, yeah. Offensive rookie of the year. Anybody stand out yesterday, or too early?
I'm not sure. I feel like I can't think of any rookie. I could be wrong, because I'm just not remembering, that had like a really oh wow, what an awesome performance. I mean, do you have anyone that comes to mind that I'm just not thinking of?
Did he say Justin Fields?
Well, that was his.
I was going to say Micah Parsons, the linebacker for Dallas.
Oh, we're just doing straight up rookie of the year.
Defensive rookie.
Oh, deep play.
We can do offensive if you want.
I'm just trying to think of a lot of defensive rookies. I know more offensive rookies, but I know Parsons, Surtain, J.C. Horn. How'd he play yesterday?
Like I said, I can't. Nothing really stands out.
Yeah. Parsons, I thought, did good in the middle of the defense. He was kind of all over the place, but that was also one game was on, and I can really focus on this when it was. I didn't really look into how the rookie performed yesterday.
Yeah, Parsons seemed to. I mean, he was all over the field, it seems. But I'm not one to judge like linebacker play. I'm like, oh, he was around the field. That doesn't necessarily mean he did a great job. But I mean, Parsons was good. I mean, Horn, from what I saw, a few plays, he was good. But I don't know. I mean, it's too early, I think.
Comeback player of the year?
Well, it's going to be Ryan Fitzpatrick once he shakes off this
IR stint.
He's going to have comeback player of the year in the year he got injured.
Exactly.
Saquon.
Dak Prescott.
Yeah, Dak is up there.
Either him or Joe Burrow. I think it's going to be one of the two of them.
I can see Dak.
I mean, if Dak does what he did the other night,
Right.
and they win the division, then yeah.
Would be a no-brainer.
The brain will be none.
Yeah. And then, last but not least, Coach of the Year?
Stefanski.
That's
Oh,
who my
no.
pick is.
Sirianni.
Oh, that's a good pick.
I'm gonna go McVay. I think the Rams will give it a good deep run.
The deepest of runs.
Actually, you know what? Stefanski won last year, didn't he?
Did he? Can you win Coach of the Year
I think
twice?
Yeah,
You
nothing like
can.
that. To win it
I'm
unlimited
sure
times.
Belichick's won it more than once.
It's pretty much just gonna be named the Belichick Award.
Yeah, when does the MVP get named to the Tom Brady Award?
Never, because
tomorrow.
Peyton has 5 of them, so it should be named after him.
It should.
Um,
Super Bowl MVP should be the Tom Brady Award.
Yuck.
We don't like that.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
Tell me I'm wrong and actually mean it convincingly.
You're wrong.
No, I'm not.
Okay. So that was a moot point. The moodest of points. Moody's point.
That's a stretch.
That's an Amanda show.
Coach of the Year, if it can't be Stefanski,
Kingsbury?
it's not a bad pick.
Tell me I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
All right.
It could be Staley, a young first-year head coach.
Who's Staley?
With Chargers.
Oh, it's not Anthony Lynn anymore?
No, they fired Anthony Lynn last
Joe
year.
Staley, the former linebacker. I'm just derailing everything Matt says. I'm just in my own head. Go ahead, Matt. I'm sorry.
Brandon Staley, who was the Rams' defensive coordinator last year.
Ah, the Rams. The horned sheep.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one because the Browns are immediately the first team that I think of. The Cardinals wouldn't be a bad choice.
Definitely
I'm
Mike
just
Vrabel.
looking through the list of teams right now.
Mike Tom.
Depending on how the Steelers do, it could be. Depending on how they do.
Splash.
Splash.
Yeah.
It might be Sean Payton.
He keeps it up.
Depending on how the Saints do, it could be Sean Payton. Nobody thought the Saints were going to fucking do anything this year. And if they're actually good and competitive,
Nice throw.
yeah,
Sammy
I could see
Watkins.
Sean Payton win.
Or nice catch. Yeah, I mean, that is probably the most recency bias one because of how well Jameis played, but also, yeah, I mean, if they sustain it, but that's a tough division. Well, actually, it's not a tough division. It's really just the Bucs you got to worry about.
It's the Bucs, yeah.
So, but I can see them stealing one. Are they displaced from the Dome for the rest of the year? Do you know?
It's not decided.
Not necessarily for
So
the
where
rest
are
of the
they
year,
playing?
but
Jacksonville.
Ooh.
they did Jacksonville most recently, but Jacksonville plays at home next week.
Yeah, they'll bounce around because it's basically have field will travel. That's how they'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's our week one in a nutshell, and
The nuttiest of shows.
Yeah, and I mean we're gonna review basically. I mean, for our show, this is basically the best time of the year. I think we're all big football fans, so we're very excited.
Foosball fans.
Foosball, foosball, anything like that, we are fans of. Real quick, before we sign off, I want to give you a rundown of everything you could hear on the PPRN radio network. The Peter Pino Show, Wednesday nights at 7:30. Corey, he does Choreorama Sundays at 2. Mike Rutola, program director here, he does an amazing job. He has a couple shows, Friday Night Delight with his wife Jess. They do that Fridays at 5. Our show, obviously, Mondays at 8-ish till 11-ish. New to the network, The Gray Area. Aaron Kinnard out of Long Island. He's kind of like a jazz specialist, we'll call it. He plays a ton of instruments. It's a jazz show, and I haven't got a chance to listen to it in full, but he's a very interesting guy. Hopefully, we can get him on the show to kind of promote in the next couple of weeks. Hell if and yeah, that's on Mondays through Fridays, 3 p.m. It's the Boo Show, Thursday nights at 7. Mike's newest show, Metalocracy, those are Thursdays at noon. Every Saturday is the PPRN All Access Live Concert Series. Came off hip-hop last weekend. It was Yellow Wolf and Eminem. This weekend's show hasn't been announced yet. And Friday, added to the lineup, they do stand-up comedy. They do a stand-up show. Just whatever, they're kind of feeling. It's nothing really, super consistent, act-wise. So stay tuned to that. Those are Fridays at 8. And every other Saturday is Mixtape Saturday. I believe this coming weekend will be a Mixtape Saturday, although it may be another week because they did kind of back-to-back for Labor Day. So stay tuned to that. All that stuff is always announced on our page and all our stuff, of which, Mock, where can you find us?
Be sure to find us on Facebook at Getting Sports with Drunk. Twitter and Instagram is at GSWD_4.
Use the hashtag if you've been to the Giants game or, just.
The Giants game. You mentioned the Giants game. They played yesterday.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
And, yeah, you were there.
I was?
That's what they're saying anyway.
Oh, yeah. That's what Darren Ravel was reporting.
Right.
Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and Spotify.
We are everywhere. So be sure to give us a follow, give us the likes, listen in, tell us we're right, tell us we're wrong. Probably tell us we're wrong. That's our MO. But listen, we have fun doing it.
We're always right. We're never wrong.
Gentlemen, tell me about your beers.
I had the Back East Oktoberfest. Not bad. Good for an Oktoberfest. 5.1% ABV. I would give it a 3.67 out of 5. I wouldn't necessarily buy it again, but if I was at a bar and that was one of the few options, I would definitely get it. Had a good October-y taste. Nothing amazing about it, but nothing that to sneeze at, as they would say, as the youngins say. But I enjoyed it and would get it again.
All right. We'll see if we can have you on in the next couple weeks. We have 2 Oktoberfest mini kegs, that we've been kind of cycling in. So we'll see if we can work that out. Mark, how was that holiday bud?
Listen, it was,
we're
still crisp, still getting the job done.
Nice.
So,
now,
good on you, Budweiser.
When you say getting the job done as a 10-month-old holiday Budweiser, what does that mean?
It just did what it signed up to do.
Would you say that your sleigh bells
More
are ringing?
cliches. Is your jingle bells rocked?
Terrible.
I'll see myself out.
Massey, how was your beverage?
Beveragey.
My beverage was cold and
Nice.
crisp and refreshing.
All right. I had, from Fat Orange Cat, I had Baby Kittens, 6.5
Context.
6.5% alcohol by volume. It's a hazy New England style IPA. I would give this 3.1 out of 5. There's nothing really discernibly special about this.
Hate to see it.
It's drinkable beer.
Sure.
I would never buy this on my own. This was
Never.
a gift for my sister, so thank
Love
you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Kendall.
I have 2 more at the house that I will inevitably drink in the next coming days because that's how I am. But it's not the worst beer I've ever had.
What is the worst beer you've ever had?
Well, that's a conversation for another day.
That's true. We got to dive pretty deep. We'll pick that up again.
All right.
But that's it. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for calling.
We'll see you next week. I don't know what the status of everybody being here.
Status.
Kyle. Oh, real quick, we wish Kyle well. He's suffering from shingles right now. Very uncommon for a young person to get, but he has it. So hopefully he's gonna feel better, and we'll see. And I think the Riddler returns next week. But that's it. Until next time, he is.
I am Don't Drop the Mic.
Mark.
Sheen Washable.
Oh, come on.
Vanishing Souls has vanished. I'm the Master Chris Massey.
And I am the Rat of a Red Baron.
Yes, you
Yeah.
are. Yeah.